13,000. AG Almighty 8 gang, pull up and get your shit splat gang. Pull up, hop out and scramble your shit gang. On their computers. Baller alert. They on computers talking shit offline, they losing it. 10-year legacy on life support, now the Patreon. The mod's a bitch, I'm been goofy, it's just to send some bits. I ain't a snitch, but 3rd out of 3rd, he ain't never call a hit. Mid-mileage and Mr. Husnar Vanell on speed dial. My niggas wild, can't forget Theo when he the golden child. Who else around? Kicking swaggins and DSP on some goofy shit. KG a bitch, trips to Japan, he get finesse by a chick. He a trick, I just made a brand new socket. What we do, huh? We just trolled a brand new op, bitch. AG Almighty A gang, what up? Get your shit scramble gang. You can't get played like Rambo, Howard or the pack. Your girl a snack. She go get swipe right to see how you react. DSP is how you don't play. He failing games every day. Buying fast food with the tips is why he gaining weight. We trolling chiller, socks is real, man, it's been a drill. Subcon went up a few days ago, bro, you know that ain't real. The streams ain't chill, you yawn and complain about your bills. Cackle be gon' damn near every night, you need some gin for real. You diss Ninja, PewDiePie, and Almighty. What the fuck? How you go feel when them Twitch cops not on your side? That ass bang. Kicking the furries, sweaties do sweet just like some McFlurries. Chat put on sub, only mode the moms don't have to worry. Do them dirty, X pull up with the shit, they get super nervous. What's the purpose? Praise be his name, Almighty at your service. Big pull up, they log in, what's up? No tips, no bits, they talk tough. Let me change up the style. Hey, game we go wild. Hey, what? We hooligans, coolin' and bullin' and fuck next, we up now. Ha, hey, game we go wild. Hey, what? We hooligans, coolin' and bullin' and fuck next, we up now. Hey, shout out to Susan and big ups to Porsche for holding it down. Hey, niggas out here trolling with a couple grand? What the fuck? To me that sound like you a fucking fan. Hey, do them dirty, X pull up with this shit, they get super nervous. What's the purpose? Praise be his name, Almighty at your praise be.
It's Tevin's fall.
I'm not here to tell. I'm not here to get shout outs. It's just me and my gang. AEG, Almighty Head Gang, what up?
Baller alert.
Yeah, I got my bits on me. I ain't tryna tip right now. And if I'm not being me, I got a sock right now. Just you was leaving on site if I turn on the stream right now. On a stream. Me and Ed Gang, we ball. Y'all free thing right now. Yeah, I got my bits on me. I ain't tryna tip right now. And if I'm not being me, I got a sock right now. On a sock. Yo, viewers leaving on site if I turn on the stream right now. Me and Ed Gang, we ball. Y'all free throwing right now. I talk tips. I don't know what y'all cheering about. Matter of fact, as we stream, I'm counting tips right now. If a nigga play with my channel, he can get banned right now. Team no troll, so you know I got my motherfucking mods right now. Mods. Yo, viewers all on my dick like they tryna sub right now. Said they gon' give some silver, said I couldn't go and clock out. You need to get out. They sent me tips on the own, cause you was checking on their accounts. Checking all their account while you was with no subs. I was checking on my mouth. Was just count the Egg Gang, bitch. You know, we got mouth, we got clout. I go crazy with the trolling till they learn man all my niggas. Rolling up on streams to see what they about. What? It's follower only mode, so I had to change my route. I got 17 socks on the couch right now. And 500 bits from ads right now. I got whispers all on my main. How you doing? People know I'm safe, even when I'm not around. Yeah, I got my bits on me. I ain't tryna tip right now. And if I'm not being me, I got a sock right now. Yo, viewers leaving on site for turn on the stream right now. Me and Ed Gang, we ballin'. Y'all free throwing right now.
There's a sick motherfucker on the internet called Tevin.
And welcome to the Atlas style stream on this Saturday morning, of course, as we typically do. Thank you all for showing up. It means a lot to me, of course, that all of you would show up so early. I know you don't have anything better to do, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless. And this week has been a week, of course. I'm going to stretch it all the way back to last Sunday because I didn't get to talk about it. Thanks, ALT, for not being there Sunday night. I hope you guys had a good King of the Ring. I didn't get to watch it, which is my bad. I'll get there after this show, actually. I'm going to watch it. But stretching all the way back to Sunday, we start our theme for the week, and it did not change, which was low support. Like I said in the title, it's an epidemic, you guys. The low support has been non-stop. And of course, it's not the guy's fault. It never was, it never could be, it never will be. It's always the game's fault or yours, you, for withholding, you fucking idiots. I'm gonna do the clip now.
That was the formula for YouTube back in the day. One video, 10 minutes.
I didn't have a segue.
I wasn't putting
fast
out
enough.
8+ hours of footage a day. And if you do the math.
Oh, I should preface this by saying, because it's a little out of context, that's what my segue was supposed to be. This is the guy opening the week with crying about how he got done dirty in the past by the way that YouTube's system works. Something, of course, that is still very relevant today, the year 2025, and all of these rules are still, of course, very important to be complaining about.
That was the formula for YouTube back in the day. One video, 10 minutes a day. I was putting out 8+ hours of footage a day. And if you do the math, since it was 10-minute long videos,
we wanted to talk about our play button.
All that was allowed on YouTube.
I'm gonna beat up past Atlas for leaving that beginning off. Actually, this is a terrible fucking cut to start the stream with. LOL.
You're talking anywhere from 20 to 40 videos a day.
Yo, Rat the Renegade, happy birthday.
It was a ton, and people basically said, "Well, this sucks."
Because
if I subscribe
agree.
to DSP Gaming, I get to see all the videos in my inbox, but now my inbox is literally only DSP Gaming. I can't see any other videos. So,
and he knew this. He knew this at the time, which is why it irritates me so much that he's still talking about it today. Because if you're aware of the situation, if you know that your analytics look a certain way because of the way that you make content, it is either up to you to make the change, to see the analytics look the way that you want, or to not care and continue to make the content that you want to make it, or to make the content that you want to make how you want to make it. I just, there's so many topics on a day-to-day basis with DSP that just are not relevant and are nobody else's issue or problem or even in their consciousness other than DSP. He's the only one that's still concerned about any of these things.
No one would subscribe to my channel. I mean, 100,000 subscribers when I was getting 10 to 15 million views a month. I think that speaks volumes. So what's hilarious about it back in the day was that
this is hilarious. You guys are going to love this.
YouTube would judge channels and say, this channel just hit a milestone of subs. This channel hit a milestone of subs. And people will come to my channel and be like, Phil, why does no one sub to your channel? You know, you get so many views and people know of you in the gaming space, but it's weird that you don't have subs like all the other big channels. I said, because I
see, and it's such a problem that even viewers who have nothing to gain from DSP's analytics, there's no incentive for them to try and help him. Even they were like, DSP, your numbers look weird in comparison to all of the other content creators on the website. Why is that? Shouldn't that be a concern to you? And he just continued to do as he wanted while complaining the entire time.
actually work hard.
And John is right. Nobody is asking these questions. Who is this concerned about their favorite content creator? Of course, all of the classic DSP dents. They were real helpful back in the day, unlike these modern idiots who even refuse to support the streams at all. But we're gonna get there.
Because I put out more content than literally anyone else out there. No one will subscribe to my channel because it's a YouTube functionality issue. It's not me.
It's their problem.
Tons
It's not me.
It
never was.
Definitely subscribe. By rights, I should have over 1 million subs.
By rights, he deserves this. This is something that he is owed. This is instinctually supposed to be given to him because of who he is, obviously. It's his right to have 1 million subs. And the fact that he wasn't given it is actually an injustice, if you ask me, and of course, the guy as he tells it.
I was getting more.
Dude, I agree more and more with DSP every day as I enjoy his character Less frustration, more just loving to hate this character.
Views than million sub YouTubers, but no one would subscribe to my channel. You see? So all these schlubs out there today who have a million subs, like, they're not even pulling in anything like what I used to do back in the day. And again, this is not a brag. I'm just explaining.
But it is a brag. You could not intend it to be a brag, but you're still trying to flex on all of these people. Again, years and years into the future. This was like 14 years ago. These people don't give a shit or know who the guy is, but this isn't a brag, you know?
When I got this, it was so not meaningful to me because I knew that I should probably have over 1 million subs, but YouTube would never allow people to do that because they'd be flooded with my videos because the system sucked.
Wait, so he should have 1 million subs. I thought it was his right to have the 1 million subs. Now we're changing the story. We're sounding less confident. I like confident DSP. I like when he comes in hot and tells you that he's owed everything and that he absolutely expects it to be that way. I think that's when he's at his most fun, at least lately. Thank you, Robert Williams, for the $5, saying he's looking for 40 acres and 1 million subs for all of the work that he put in, basically out in the fields. It's true. DSP's the hardest working blue collar guy I know. He's your average Joe gamer who totally lives a normal life like everybody else and is definitely relatable. Of course. I mean, look at him now on screen. Is this not relatable? Is this not what your guys' rooms look like? Look around. I think you'd be surprised. Thank you, Robert Williams. And the Deep Fryer for the 5, saying 8+ hours of terrible content per day. His content is so bad that it can't even be used as walkthroughs because he never shuts up. And he's bad at the games. A walkthrough, at least to me, implies that they're going to walk you through how to actually play the game. I don't expect errors and mess ups in a walkthrough. That's not an acceptable walkthrough. And the content is so terrible. Somebody left it in a comment the other day. Out of the million views that DSP's channel has, the 67,000 videos he has uploaded, that equates to about 7,000 views per video, if I gave you a real number on views, which is not all of that impressive. 7,000 views is a lot more views than a lot of people get on the site, for sure, but as a full-time content creator, a professional who's made his living this way, 7,000 is abysmal. You cannot make a living off of 7,000 views of video if you do it what I'm going to call an appropriate way. And you can decide for yourself what that means. But thank you, the Deep Fryer, for the 5. And Dragoon Zyre Gaming for the 2, saying 1 million style sub detractor. Well, I appreciate that. But unlike the guy, I would never expect that or even think that it's my right. That's weird.
When I got this, it was almost like a slap in the face. Like, wow, 100,000 subs, but I have 10 million views this month. Do I care about this? Of course not. So I kind of just put it away.
I see you.
And never really cared about it, right? But now, 15 years later, you look back and you're like, any time to put away the sour grapes, right?
15 years this guy's been coping with this and actually upset. That's what he's just acknowledged right here, that after 15 years, he finally thinks that it's time for him to put up the sour grapes, whatever that even means. He doesn't use that phrase correctly, and now I'm not sure what it means either. I just can't imagine seething about something so insignificant like this for 15 years straight. And caring enough to even drop the subject matter that far in, You would think after 15 years, you'd just fucking sink it in and be upset for life. But no, DSP is still actively changing his mind. Because of course he is. He can't stand on anything. Thank you, Vaporware 336 for the 5, saying, I know this old washed up never was, isn't calling top earning YouTubers, some actual millionaires, schlubs when he can't pull 1K views a video. Well, his numbers just looked better back in the day. You wouldn't understand due to inflation or something. But the guy is a real one and everything he says is true. So you're felt and seething.
Times back then, things were insane, getting a crazy amount of views and money based on the performance and everything. And, as upset as I was about every little nitpicking gripe, obviously things were good. It's what started my life as an independent person and creator, rather than relying on a 9-to-5 job where some boss just pushed me around and mistreated me or didn't value me as an employee, which was happening pretty much everywhere I ever worked. And so
But shouldn't that tell him something? Isn't that indicative of somebody's character? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there aren't shitty bosses out there that mistreat good people. But from my experience working actual blue-collar jobs, as the guy likes to claim, most of the time, if there is a person that goes from job to job and every single place they go, their boss doesn't seem to like them, it's not typically the boss's problem. It often has to do with them just being a shitty person and a shitty worker, oftentimes together, but sometimes separate. He should be looking at himself rather than his shitty bosses of the past for character improvement. But of course, that's not within the guy's wheelhouse. Self-improvement is never on the table. Thank you, Snert, for the 8 Australian, the down under dollar. He has been extra insufferable recently. Do you get the feeling he has gotten a taste of going viral and is rage baiting? I don't think that he's rage baiting, personally. I think that's too high IQ a play for DSP. But he has definitely got a taste of going viral. And we're going to take a look at that in just a few clips. You're jumping the schedule. I'm going to ask you to slow down a little bit, please. Thank you.
Now I look back and I'm like, you know, I was stupid. I was immature. I definitely was not
What's
grateful,
up, Filth Pig?
I feel, for the things that I was given back then. And I know
DSP,
that now.
not
but,
grateful?
Like they say, hindsight's 20/20.
But he's 43 years old. I just don't understand how you can be so ungrateful and so unappreciative for like actually winning the lottery so young that it takes you till you're 43 years old to finally appreciate it. He's so stunted mentally that mature things like just showing basic gratitude for being able to be self-employed and make buku dollars, by the way. He didn't appreciate it enough to pull the plaque out until he was 43, like 15 years later. I just couldn't imagine being so childish and so petty. I often say that I strive for high levels of petty, but never like this. This is pathetic. It's not like pathetic at all. It is.
Back then, if you watch my videos, I'm always complaining about something or feeling, as I said, very entitled back then. Remember, I thought my shit didn't stink. I was like, oh, I'm the big YouTuber. I'm the big gamer. Everyone knows Dark Side Phil. And therefore, how dare you say that I should change anything or improve, right? I know better than everyone. Like, that was my attitude back then, which, by the way, was a very bad attitude to have. Nonetheless, I had it.
Big sip. Very cool.
It's cool, I feel, all these years later, to actually still have this and now be able to put it as part of my set. Now, will that be a permanent part of my set?
I guess that's cool, but when you tell the story the way that he just did, it actually sounds far less cool. I feel like any sort of like value or meaning that plaque would have had is now devalued and diminished by the fact that he told the story before. He should have just shut up.
Maybe not. It's definitely, of all the things that I have here, I would say the 2 permanent things should be this frame with these cool animations.
Super cool animations. I agree. Look at how relevant this is. This M. Bison from the fucking 80s, 90s cartoon that almost none of his audience would be able to recognize.
But we'll see. We'll see how people react to it this month, if people even care or whatever. I'm very curious what people will think, if they like it or not. It is a piece of YouTube nostalgia and history, being that it's the old play button you can't get. And very few people actually have this button anymore, because most people who were back then that big actually retired.
Yes.
I'm one of the few people who still do it to this day daily. So
what does that tell you? Like, all of these observations that he makes, they come from somewhere. There is some sort of reasoning behind them, and it's like he just never delves into why that's the case. He never ponders on these ideas. They retired and no longer make content because they either A, moved on with their life and are doing something more productive for society and maybe have a family, or they made their money and retired officially and continued to live their life exactly how they wanted to because they were more responsible. But here DSP is literally shrugging his shoulders, throwing his hands up. What are you gonna do? Nothing I could do. That's crazy to me. Thank you, Wesley H, for the 5, saying he begs like he's going out of business every day, despite getting a $1,600 tip last week. This man's content has felt like a special circle of hell. It is, and it was specifically designed for you. I hope you're enjoying it. Wesley H for the 5. Yeah, squandering $1,600 over the course of a week on WWE champions and shitty dumb plastic for a console he doesn't even particularly care for is next level stupid for sure.
There you go.
There
so
you
anyway,
go. I needed you guys to hear the anyway, of course. Very vital to every clip that I make that I leave the there you go and anyway on the end. So of course we're going to move into more seething of the past because Sunday was just chock full of it.
So someone tipped $2. All right. Here's what they had to say. Let's get this on the leaderboard.
I hope you guys are enjoying the silence. It's very important to the
Here's
content.
what they had to say. It's funny watching 10-plus-year-old videos of you and your reaction to the original This Is How You Don't Play. All that overreaction from you over just saying that Phil is bad at Metal Gear Solid 2. I feel like if that happened today, it'd be so different. Because, like, when's the last time you ever mentioned This Is How You Don't Play?
Not that long ago, actually. It's not that long ago that we mentioned This Is How You Don't Play. You guys remember when he watched This Is How You Don't Play on his own official React channel? Atlas fucking remembers. Atlas was there. That's how recent ago it was. I was actually born for this.
I feel there was a certain irony where you kept mentioning This Is How You Don't Play back in the day, and that caused people to actually learn about it and watch it. Yeah, so here's my perspective. 10 years later, you know what they say again.
I love introing with here's my perspective. Like, he is able to offer anything but his own perspective. He's made 17 years worth of content, and I don't know that he's ever actually been able to provide any sort of viewpoint from anyone but his own, or from anywhere but his own eyes. He's incapable of putting himself into anybody else's shoes. And I know that isn't a surprise to any of you anymore, but I feel like I'm never going to be able to understand how that's possible. I don't understand how you can be a grown man, as old as he is, living that way. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And hindsight's 20/20.
And Demi Fiend, I will answer your question about how my week is. I'm pulling up a picture, actually.
You look at the situation. So there's 2 reasons why I reacted that way back then. Okay, one is a very bad, very stupid, very ignorant reason, and one is a very valid one. The first reason is I thought my shit didn't stink. I thought I was this big popular gaming YouTuber.
He thought those things. He no longer thinks those things, of course. That's why we're using the past tense of the word.
I thought that I worked harder than everybody else, and therefore I deserved respect. And how dare someone make fun of me? Now, I'm not saying, oh, don't watch my videos and laugh at them, because a lot of the times in my videos, I purposefully overreacted, overacted. I mean, in that MGS2 playthrough, I was constantly insulting Hideo Kojima for a reaction. I didn't actually dislike the guy. I just wanted people to have a reaction because that's what got me popularity and views back in the day. It was that shock value kind of stuff. Oh my.
So is it no wonder that by some point everybody stopped respecting DSP? Not that many people did in the first place, but you get what I'm saying. That they stopped respecting him or his opinions and anything that he had to say, because at some point it becomes obvious that he doesn't mean any of it. None of it is worth a shit because he won't stand on any of it. None of these are real takes or opinions. Who wants to hear that bullshit? So unrelated, the little tangent, little tangent here. Demi Fiend asked me how my week was going. If you're looking at the screen, it looks like trash, and that's because here is the first Atlas plant from the garden. Look at that. It's a little green pepper. The first plant I ever grown. So it's going pretty good. All right, enough of that. We'll go back to the guy.
My God, he just won't stop insulting Hideo Kojima. We got to watch more, right? So
I'm Atlas, the
it's a
farm
difference
keeper
between
now.
You were watching that footage on my channel, or you were actually watching someone who had the audacity to make fun of Darkside Phil. Now, keep in mind, over 10 years ago was a lot of different times. This was around 2012, 2013-ish. So at that time, most people were laughing with me, not laughing at me.
Are you sure about that? I know one DSP ex viewer, and he only enjoyed watching Phil because it was just a drunk asshole playing video games. This person is Logan K, by the way. I'm gonna out him. He only enjoyed watching DSP because he was just a drunk asshole that you could laugh at him. He's just being ignorant and being loud and obnoxious playing video games. And at some point, Logan K found that enjoyable. Don't ask me why, but that's what he's claimed publicly. I'm not convinced at any point more people were laughing with DSP than at him. And you'll never have those numbers. We will never find out if that's true, but I find it hard to believe.
I wasn't known as this clown on the internet that everyone liked to make fun of and deride. I was actually respected in the YouTube gaming community as one of the biggest YouTubers. People came to me.
They respected him as one of the biggest YouTubers, but they didn't respect him as a gamer or a content creator or somebody whose opinions were actually sensible. They didn't respect any of those things about him. Just the fact that the number on his videos was big. That's it.
For advice. People who now today are much bigger than me used to ask me for help back in the day on how to break out on YouTube or how to properly manage their channel. This happened all the time.
You notice they're not asking how to make good content. You notice they're not asking about how he's so witty and comical in his commentary, or how his gameplay is just so exceptional and he's a god gamer. None of those things were happening to DSP. They were simply asking, how do you get your numbers so big? Which to me does kind of sound like a backhanded insult in hindsight. Because I would also ask, if I seen somebody making absolutely trash content, how is it possible your numbers are this big when the gameplay looks like that? It doesn't add up. What did you do? Because whatever you did seemed to do the trick, right?
Okay.
It's all he's ever had is that his view numbers were high. Wesley H with a 10, thank you so much. Saying that the problem is Phil wanted to do the AVGN nostalgia critic thing of making bad jokes while being bad at a game. He's at fault for the vids being made. You can't use bad gameplay to say a game is bad. You're right. You're right. I've never personally been a AVGN or nostalgia critic fan, so what DSP was going for was never going to work for me. And I'm convinced that it was never going to work for a lot of people my age or younger. He was always on a time limit. And I want to say in the same way that AVGN is, but obviously James Rolfe has more than made his money and doesn't have to do any of this shit anymore. So
now you might look at that.
And that's a great point, Incorrect Beans. There is no character either. DSP really is bad at games. His takes really are shit, and he really doesn't stand by them genuinely. He's incapable of making real statements. So in all of those capacities, he loses to these other people who are legitimately playing characters and doing it for the content, as he claimed to be.
Perspective and be like, that's ridiculous. I don't believe you. But that's how it was back then. So for me, I was very big-headed. Okay.
He was very big-headed. Of course, still using the past tense. DSP is obviously way more humble now. He's a real person.
I was very big-headed. I was very stupid.
Very stupid.
I thought, how dare this person make fun of me?
He thought, how dare... I don't want to keep doing this, but all of this is still true to this day. Every single one of these aspects to him is still true to this day, including how dare you make fun of me, as we will go on to see in the next clip.
And I think that's... Now, today I look at it and I'm like, what an ignorant, stupid way to take it. If someone went out of their way to make an hours-long montage video, obviously I'm doing something right because it got their attention. Even if it's a negative attention, it still got their attention. So what I should have done was laughed with it and then probably started doing my own crap, referencing it in a positive way in my own content, right?
Yes. Again, hindsight does wonders here. But yes, DSP should have seen the success of This Is How You Don't Play, took his own benefits from all of the YouTube money he was making, and hire an editor or somebody to do a This Is How You Don't Play. He should have seen the format working, especially if he was so concerned about it. He should have taken it and ran with it by himself. People have said this all throughout the years, and he had more than enough means to get that job done and was incapable of it. But we're still, of course, mentioning it like 10 years later.
Then it would have brought more attention positively to my content, but instead
And Green Lobster saying that AVGN and Guy with the Glasses and DSP were basically the silent film era of YouTube. I suppose you could say that, but even I find some sort of interest in how silent films were made and what they did for how films went forward. I don't think that about DSP or AVGN or that Guy with the Glasses. As a matter of fact, there's some of... I don't care about the impact they had. That, I guess that's the end of the sentence.
That I was so upset that someone would make fun of me.
And that's
now,
a
there is another
opinion.
factor to it that actually was more rational. And here was the other factor. You have to understand that 13 years ago, my only source of income was ad revenue on my videos on YouTube, which was directly tied to the number of views that I actually got. Okay? I didn't have any crowdfunding at all. I think at one point I did have a PayPal open that I got like $100 a month on. Something
only
$100. It was ridiculous.
$100.
It wasn't any significant source of income at all.
And he's right, $100 ain't shit, but it was $100 in 2010, which is more than $100 is now. And I would try and at least be a little grateful to those people who way back in the day were really supporting DSP in the most optimal way possible, of course. $100 straight into his PayPal account is pretty nice.
Okay. It was all ad revenue from YouTube. It was like all my eggs were in one basket at that time. Okay. I wasn't live streaming, none of it. So because of that...
Yeah, 2 games for literally free is $100 a month, which is pretty robust and meaningful when you have to purchase a bunch of games per month in order to make infinite money the way he was.
I looked at this person without my permission, taking my videos and editing them into their own form of content, and they were getting big views. And the way I saw it was, listen, they should be asking me for permission to use my content because that's my copywritten content. And what's sadly going to happen is if this kind of
misunderstood transformative
activity continues, this is going to take views away from me. This is going to take attention away from my channel. People are going to want to watch the negative deriding version of the content rather than the original content. I'm going to see a big views dip, and this is going to hurt my bottom line for my business.
But that tells you that a huge portion of your audience, all of the people that are no longer going to watch your content and instead will watch that content, were laughing at you at that time. Every single viewer that he lost to go to watch This Is How You Don't Plays was already laughing at him. That's what this should have told him. And again, just should have again told him more that he needed to capitalize on these sort of montages of his fails, since such a significant portion of his audience was already there for that kind of content and he didn't know it. He should have I can't say it enough. He really should have taken it and ran with it, and just was incapable of laughing at himself enough to make, again, twice as much infinite money.
I was absolutely correct. That's actually exactly what happened.
Yeah, and Bo Knight, I'm not trying to say that everybody, was watching DSP and then went to This Is How You Don't Play. There's definitely people that only jumped on after it was created, myself included, of course. But what I'm saying is there was a portion, and those people could have stayed if he would have been able to do something.
People stopped watching my raw content and instead just waited for someone to make a This Is How You Don't Play of the latest playthrough I did. So my views plummeted.
And it's so many people he's using the word plummeted.
100%. I was very massively negatively affected by This Is How You Don't Play. If I didn't change my formula up to be a live streamer and a crowd-funded individual, I would be bankrupt completely and irreparably today. Seriously. Like, I wouldn't be able to make any profits. It's crowdfunding that allows me to make profitability today.
It's directly begging from the few people who do still enjoy my content that allow me to live the way I do today. Who admits to something like that? I don't think that you could torture me to say something so humiliating and pathetic. But and it's not the words that he's using, it's the reality around the situation, rather. So.
Right now, take a look at what happens. I turn on my...
Also, Wesley H, of course, pointing, he literally did go bankrupt, which is always very enjoyable to remember.
Live stream, someone has already clipped something from this stream and uploaded it to their channel before my live stream's offline. That's illegal. Like, that's copyright infringement. My stream's still online. You clipped and put a clip up. You broke the law. You cannot do that. Okay.
Lawyer side Phil back at it
I'm
again.
not rich. I can't slap all these people with lawsuits. So imagine today if I relied on sole ad revenue when my YouTube channel brings in 500,000 views a month. That's true. DSP Gaming only brings in 500,000 views a month now because they steal all my content. Everyone watches my content on other channels before they watch it on my own because everyone illegally clips and uploads it first before I even can. How fucked up is that?
Well, most of the people that are watching restreams and clips aren't even able to actually interact with the content as it's put on by the guy. That's what happens when you ban such a vast majority of the people that watch you, and they're no longer able to actually interact with the content. They kind of are forced to go elsewhere. It's a hole that he dug himself, at least in that regard. Shout out all my regards, of course.
Where did that practice begin? This is how you don't play.
Bad Luck asking, didn't he break Twitch's TOS by uploading his streams onto YouTube immediately? I want to say that that's the case. I might be wrong and misremembering. Somebody please inform the ancient skeletal style if that's not the case, but that's how I remember it.
Taking my content out of its raw form.
And I don't know as far as 500,000 views goes on YouTube. I don't know if that's a lot or a little. It's definitely not enough to sustain his lifestyle, that's for certain. But in comparison to other people, I genuinely don't know. Numbers are stupid. Ack. I'm more of a word guy.
Form, making it something else and putting it on the channel without permission. Now, as we all know, in the last 13 years, all the laws and everything have been hashed out. We know that This Is How You Don't Play is actually legal. All right? It is. As long as you're adding commentary and criticism to it, and it's not just raw gameplay with nothing over it, it's allowed. I would argue that the original This Is How You Don't Play's perfectly 100% are transformative works. So they're
all This Is How You Don't Plays are transformative works in this aspect. I don't know why we had to specify that the originals were. All of them are to this day. The fact that it's a compilation in and of itself, I believe, is enough. But I'm not a lawyer's side. I would never claim to be.
They would be allowed today legally. There's no problem. These other people who literally just clip me out of context with no commentary and criticism and no editing, just, hey, it's just raw, that's completely illegal, and they're not allowed to do that. Okay? But This Is How You Don't Play, for the most part, would have been considered.
All you fucking illegal criminals out there, you're on watch, okay? The guy is taking notes. He's documenting all of your crimes for the lawsuit, and you will be prosecuted.
Legal by today's findings of what's happened in the last 13 years. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Today, I don't give a shit about anything anyone says or does about me. As you know, like you said,
Wesley H saying the Carl Benjamin case proves Phil wrong because he re-uploaded a video with minimal comments and a different title and won his lawsuit. This is true. Big ups Sargon of Akkad, of course, for a tremendous lawsuit W over that lady. I don't remember the exact situation, but I do remember that happening.
Your tip, well, you don't bring up This Is How You Don't Play anymore. No, I just don't bring up any negative stuff anymore. I don't care. Because if I did, my entire day would be bringing up negative stuff because that's how it's been. That's how toxic the world has turned against me because they realized, hey, being toxic to Darkside Phil is profitable for me. I can make tons of money making fun of Phil, even though it's illegal.
Tons of money, even though it's illegal.
I'm not going to sit here.
And that's where his concern really lies, huh? Is that there's so much money being made off of his name that he's not able to personally cash in on. It's just the wrong priorities. He should be way more concerned about the fact that people are actively dunking on him every single day and everybody is laughing at him. That should be way more of a concern of his rather than the money. He has more than enough money to live. He has more than enough money to sustain his lifestyle if he managed it properly. All of his money woes are on himself.
Talking about it, fighting it, bitching about it all
I just
day.
think that the fight doesn't start with the cash, and it starts with the community perspective on him.
Positive content to make, and quite frankly, the viewers who are here who like
Eric
me
Brennan, I was
don't
on
give
time
a shit
as
about
always.
the toxic idiots. They would much rather never hear about it, and that's what I've learned. So that's why I just ignore it and don't bring it up anymore. And I'm very successful doing that. If you haven't noticed, I make a ton of money. I'm very profitable. I hit goals, but I also get to do what I love.
And just again, he's flexing the money. This is DSP humble bragging right now, the least humble way I've ever seen in my entire life. I make money. I make tons of money. Literally said tons of money. I hit goals on the week where he consistently just didn't hit a bunch of goals, you know? It's almost like he shouldn't say these things out loud. Maybe the guy is actually capable of manifesting to some extent, and he's manifested his own demise, as he's actually done for years now. Thinking about it.
And that's the way to be successful, is to ignore the nonsense. What's happened is this bizarre toxic ecosystem has just evolved around me. And even though I'm at the center of it, I'm no part of it. I just wanted you to think about how weird that is. I'm a man in a bubble, but I have nothing to do with the bubble. I just ignore it because it doesn't benefit me. It's just really there because they're all leeches. And the day that I don't stream is the day they can't make a buck. Right? So imagine just
the importance on this guy. Just try and put this into perspective of somebody working a normal job. If your bosses hate you and the customers hate you, you're literally throwing your hands up and going, well, this has nothing to do with me. These are these toxic people who are trying to make a buck off of me. And the day that I don't come into work is a day that they can't make a sale. So what are they gonna do? These fucking idiots. Like that's, I can't even imagine having that sort of, again, perspective on life. Just so concerned about yourself and not actually looking to better your own character, or at least get perceived better by other people that do actually matter at the end of the day. Your bosses, your customers, the people that are selling your product, if that is the case. Like these things do matter.
Imagine if like I got really sick, or you know, I broke my hands, or, you know, what if I got a car accident? Right?
Guys, what if he got into a car accident? What would you do with your day if DSP got into a car accident? An absolutely wild thing to be concerned about, considering he only leaves his house once a day for like, or once a week for like a few hours at a time. The idea that he would get into a car accident is statistically not even that likely at all. But sure, man, I'm super concerned. Thank you, Adam Corona, for the 1 month membership of the 60 Skulls, saying can't wait for the marathon coverage when he actually starts putting Switch accessories in the trash bag. Was you gave me the Italian hand. Very cool. Very Silvano of you. Yes, I don't actually have that clip. I was just made aware of that today when I woke up, because I'm an audio style. I didn't even see that shit.
Right? Just think about that. What would they do?
But we will cover the Mario Kart style marathon.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
A little bit.
That's why I don't bring it up. You know? And you're right. If back in the day I hadn't brought up this is how you don't play in the way that I did, the very toxic, negative way that I did, number one, it probably wouldn't have blown up. Number two, probably there wouldn't have been a viral movement to go against Darkside Phil and make money doing it. And number three, maybe, just maybe, things would have been a lot better for me. And, you know, to this day, I would have been seen in a positive light. I would have still been a big YouTuber. I wouldn't have had massive crimes committed against me every day.
Massive crimes.
But,
huge. They blew up my house.
Again, I've said this all along. My journey
my family
has been a unique one. I am one of the actual innovators of being a full-time content creator and gaming creator. There was no blueprint of someone who had done it before me of who was successful at all.
AVGN literally existed before DSP was his inspiration for his early content, and has always been more successful and more well respected than him. There was always a blueprint, no matter how much he claims that there wasn't. As few as there were given the time period, as few examples as there were in comparison, they were already there. There's no, you can't rewrite how history actually went.
None.
Not at least when the victors are still alive on the fucking planet. That's crazy.
Zero. So I was just winging it and trying to find my own path and do it my own way. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. This is definitely one of them. 100% definitely one of them. So, okay.
All right. Sounds good, dude.
I received a $3 tip.
What's it say?
What's one piece of advice or criticism from the past that you wished you listened to back then? And what's the biggest misconception about you? Well, the biggest piece of advice or criticism would have been to just chill out and roll with it.
Like he obviously is doing today, of course, which we're going to see very shortly in the next clip, how he's totally a chill guy and rolls with everything.
Like, to be honest, some of the things that have happened to me that really could have ended me because I just chilled out and rolled with it, they blew over. You know, my incident is probably the biggest of all of those, where if I had been so upset that it happened and tried to be defensive about it and all of that, it probably would have been the end.
To this day, I'll never understand how this guy recovered. I'll never be over how this guy can actually beat off on stream and show up every day and show his face. That's otherworldly, if you ask me.
But because I rolled with it,
it's almost alien.
It didn't even affect me in a negative way at all. It actually ended up being a net positive, as stupid as that sounds. Okay. But yeah, like, in my opinion, if I had been
yeah, it's the zero shame. But again, I like having so little respect for yourself, I guess, is foreign to me.
For mellow back in the day and just rolled with everything and didn't take it so seriously. Like I said, I took This Is How You Don't Play very seriously at first. I think things would have been a lot different. But again, you don't know. You know, you just don't know at all.
Just don't know. How could you? Unless you had a blueprint.
Now, what's the biggest misconception about me? I don't know. Because here's the craziest part. I don't know what the misconceptions about me are anymore because I don't pay attention. I pay absolutely no attention to any of them. They're so insane that I just don't care. So I couldn't answer that question. I really have no clue.
Imagine that. DSP unable to answer a question. What a classic.
You know, some of the longest running misconceptions continue. People still think that I blow all my money on mobile video games. No, I don't.
He does, or at least the account that he lied about for years is still actively blowing huge money on the account. I mean, I don't think I have to convince any of you that the guy who lied about having the account for years probably also lied about selling the account for years. You know,
people still think that I have a bad relationship with my wife. No, I definitely don't. It's actually quite the opposite. But that's the thing. I'm not.
Whether or not he has a bad relationship requires you to actually define what bad means. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the way that DSP currently lives is about how he wants it to be, which is not how anybody else would envision an ideal life. DSP's expectations and the way that DSP likes things are never, I think, congruent with how other people view the world. And that's why he's able to legitimately and genuinely believe that the relationship he has with Cat is healthy and meaningful and robust, of course, because he doesn't know what an actual relationship with another human being is supposed to look like. And that's made ever more clear by all of the relationships that he's had with other people that absolutely went to shit because he was incapable of understanding how another human being thinks.
Publicly about certain things.
Did I see TJ Gamebox's findings of all of the money that he spent of the $1,600, or was there something more than that? I haven't seen a TJ Gamebox post in a couple of days, I don't think.
And then people just get these crazy ideas in their minds, and then they roll with them. And then they become manic about it. And then they all believe stuff that's
super manic.
False.
You guys are foaming at the mouth.
I don't pay attention. And it's so
yeah, speaking of foaming, side tangent. I found out the other day that in the train industry, people who are too excited to work on trains or too excited about trains, they get called foamers, and they are actively like discriminated against in the hiring process. I think that's really funny, and I like the term foamers a lot.
Sometimes you guys will come and start spamming the memes on my stream, and I won't even know what you're talking about. I'll be like, huh? And then they're like, oh, what do you mean? You know what we're talking about. I'm like, no, I actually don't. I have no idea what crazy fucking obsessed manic people on the internet are talking about today. I don't pay attention to them. You know, I got better things to do than worry about.
So many better things to do, as we've ranted for the past 12 and a half minutes about about the detractors of the past and the present.
What a bunch of crazies in that bubble around me are saying today. I have my own content to make to be, you know, successful. That's positive and not toxic drama nonsense that they talk about all day. So, like, here's the deal. Yesterday,
and he just keeps going. Like, he's got so many better things to do, you guys. He's got all sorts of other robust activities to get to on his itinerary, and yet here we are complaining about detractors even more than we just did.
From the internet for most of the day, okay? I was out and about with my wife having a good time. I guarantee you yesterday, because I wasn't streaming, it was controversy drama city for these people. And they were spreading all kinds of lies and misconceptions and nonsense about me when I was out having a good time with my wife all day.
I'm pretty sure that I think Chiking was on last Saturday, was it not? I thought that was the case. Tell me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, you guys were having a very cool time without the guy. Now, despite everything that he said about how he would have changed, this is how you don't, how he reacted to this is how you don't play, and how he's such a more chill kind of guy who lets things roll off of his back like a greasy little duck. We've got this clip after his Night Rain gameplay did not go great. He's not exactly the best at the game. He always leaves his teammates, or they leave him because he's so abysmal at the game. He was jumping off of cliffs just because at one point, and losing a bunch of souls, so he was massively underleveled for the boss. So after all of that happened, and I'm not going to show you any of it because it sucked, obviously it popped off a little bit on the internet, and people were laughing at him, and this is Beaver Bother telling him. So let's see how chill and relaxed he is.
Let's see here. First tip of the day.
Of course, we've got a pre-read.
$1.50 tip from Beaver Bother saying my Night Rain gameplay is going viral. I can't imagine why. Literally, I've done the most base gameplay of someone who's not great at, this kind of game. And I certainly haven't done anything wrong. So if it went viral, it's probably some fucking mouth-drooling moron put it out of context yet again. And, if that is the case, then they can kiss my fucking ball sack. Outside of that, I don't really give a shit. But thanks for the tip, Beaver Bother.
All right, so obviously he was not offended. He was not insulted whatsoever. He's actually taking it in stride, and he might even capitalize on the situation moving forward. I made none of that up, and I'm not misrepresenting the situation whatsoever. Next, that was the end of the clip. That's all he had to say, actually. Next, we have one of my favorite interactions from the week with a DSP fan, quote unquote.
Okay.
Not Beaver Bother this time.
So I got a $2 tip. Congrats on your recent success. Can't wait for the Switch 2. I've got Truck Sim because of you.
Shut up, DSP. You're right, though, Robert Williams. He does pride himself at being good at Souls games. I understand that the formula is changed for Night Rain. I know that it's not exactly a one-to-one with a Souls game, but the core mechanics of beating the bosses and defeating the enemies and not dying is the same. The fact that he's not good at it, I think, is indicative that he's not very good at Souls games, but we have to move on.
So I got a $2 tip. Congrats on your recent success. Can't wait for the Switch 2. I've got Truck Sim because of you, and I might get a wheel. Thoughts on the slippery slope of normalizing drinking during gaming for contributions? And now,
please, DSP, please justify the normalization of drinking. I've been dying to know myself, actually.
So, you're a former alcoholic. How about this? Fuck you. I can drink if I want because I'm a fucking adult. As long as I do it responsibly, which I do. I'm not drinking and driving. I'm not advising that people do bad things. Go fuck yourself. I can drink whenever I want, and you'll like it.
And obviously, this is true. This is what they preach at AA meetings or NA meetings all of the time. Despite being an addict, despite the main trait you have with your addictions being that you can't control them, as long as you do them in a controlled way, you're good. Obviously, as all addicts know.
Okay. So he's a moron hiding behind the tip because he thought that I was going to care because he says that nice stuff first. Then he says, you're a recovering alcoholic. Why are you drinking? Because I'm an adult and I can do what I want and you can kiss my fucking ass. Thanks.
That's why I only smoke meth occasionally and totally within a controlled amount. And I'm an adult and I can do what I want, kiss my ass. How dare you be concerned about me, the guy who was repeatedly cashed in for years on the pity party that is being a former alcoholic. The guy literally put his hands behind his back in a fucking parking lot and cried to another grown man to not get his ass beat by claiming that he's an alcoholic. But now, years later, when he's within the comfort of his own home, he thinks that it's totally acceptable to continue to indulge his vices this way. This is exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about growing as an actual individual and maturing. He's completely incapable of understanding any aspect of it. Obviously, we have to ban this fucking idiot, which is a very long process. Totally not just a couple of clicks.
Yes, I did have to be an asshole to him because when someone's going to be messed up to you like that, you have to treat them with the exact way that you understand that they need to be treated so they go away. Because someone like that, they're going to
Very Christ-like, of course, of DSP, the former Roman Catholic style enjoyer. You have to greet them with the same fucking attitude and be absolutely hostile, of course.
So, oh, how dare you drink on stream? And don't you think that's a bad example because you're a former alcoholic? No, because I drink responsibly. I'm not drinking and driving. I'm not going and doing stupid shit. I'm not messing with guns and weapons and stuff while I'm drinking. We're playing.
That would be pretty hype. As far as DSP marathon stream ideas go, purchasing a firearm and watching DSP clean it for the first time as he complains about all of the mechanisms and pieces might actually be interesting to me.
Video games.
But probably not to you.
So if I have a White Claw when I'm doing truck sim, that's fine. It's any adult's right to do that. If we're doing a marathon and I say, hey, we hit a certain support goal and you guys want to see me get a little tipsy, there's nothing.
I like that he says it's every adult's right to have a White Claw or two while they play American Truck Simulator. All over the world, this is absolutely a right of the people to have a White Claw and play truck sim. It doesn't matter if you live in the US or you live in Europe or you live in a desert in the middle of Africa. By human right, you should be playing American Truck Sim with a White Claw. It's pretty common sense here.
Wrong with that. I'm in the safe.
The forefathers put it in on the wax. It's true. They wrote it into all of the documentation.
In my own home office. In fact, that's probably the safest way to do it. Don't go drinking and driving at the bar or at a restaurant. If you do it safely at home, it's fine. So what don't you understand? But what is they content farm. This person actually wanted me to try to like say something about, oh yeah, my alcoholism and shit. Go fuck yourself.
And you did. You did. Whether he likes to admit it or not, this content form absolutely worked because we're watching it right now.
I mean it. Go fuck yourself. Leave me alone.
Go fuck yourself. How about that? Idiots. Jesus. How dare they try and make content off of this as I give them exactly what they wanted. Thank you, Jordan Fadeaway, for the 2, saying DSP IRL buckshot roulette stream would be hype AF. Now, I can't condone this behavior. I simply read what was on the super chat. You're all allowed your own opinions, and that's all I'll say on the matter. Thank you, Jordan Fadeaway, for the 2, of course. I really appreciate it. And I always appreciate new ideas, of course, new content styles.
Let's talk about blueprints, all right?
Music's not me. It's not me.
2 months ago.
Not me. Blame Raw Phil.
Unbeknownst to me, a game was going to...
I wanted to leave the beginning context in, but Raw Phil still had the music up, so it wasn't me. Go yell at him today.
Release that I knew nothing about.
Or tomorrow,
but that everyone was going to yell at me to try. And I was like...
So for even more context, we're talking about blueprints here. We wanted to talk about blueprints, and obviously this is in reference to all of the low support for the week. Like I said, this is our common theme. We've moved past our robust chat style interactions for the week, and instead we're moving right back into low support, which is of course the lifeblood of the DSP channel. Anytime there's low support, it leads to high support, which leads to low support. It really is roller coaster style on DSP Space Gaming. So let's talk about all of the games that aren't doing well on Tuesday.
Like, oh, okay, that sounds good to me. Let's see what this is. It was on Game Pass, so there was no investment there. If I played it and didn't like it, or if I played it, it didn't work with the audience, then it wasn't a big deal. But unbeknownst to me, I would be jumping into a crazy long, very involved, multifaceted puzzle game.
Very involved and multifaceted puzzle game. I don't know that I've seen the gameplay. I don't know that I would use those 2 adjectives to describe what I have seen on the screen. But sure, man.
Likes of which I've never played before. Okay? On paper.
No, you're right, Penitent Sin. It's not involved. It's involved. You're right.
Blueprint
I still
is
wouldn't
as
use
follows.
that, but
You enter a mansion of which the rooms are randomly generated. Each time you enter a room, you get a choice to enter 3 more rooms. You pick which one you want, and each room has something different in it. A puzzle, a store, some items. You never know. And the more that you play this game, it's like peeling away an onion, right? On the outside, an onion looks like one big juicy hole. But...
What? Oh, he meant hole as in WHOLE? I don't know that I look at an onion and think that it's one big juicy item, though. The fuck?
As you start to
what a weird way to describe an onion. Also, I don't know that describing a video game as like an onion in layers on some Shrek type shit is exactly the most meaningful way to describe a game and entice people to watch your shit ass gameplay. Seems like a very weird strategy, but sure, man. Anders Pack, thank you for the 100 SEK. Remember that you always have some money to give to Piggy, even if you have no money, because Piggy says so. It's a fact. Suffer, so he doesn't. It's true. It's true. If that means you have to file for a second bankruptcy so he doesn't, that's the way it must be, as said by the pig. And of course, we always listen to the pig.
Peel off the layers. You
Thank
realize,
you for the 100
dang, this
SEK,
thing is like
Anders
a
Pack.
million layers to it, and they all are involved and connected. At first, you think that the goal of Blueprints is to unlock the super secret 46th hidden room. But then as you play further, you realize there's much more going on in this game than just that. There's an ongoing air of a mystery. You know, what is really going on? There's a political drama.
So there's a story in the game, which was introduced, I'm sure, at the beginning of the game. I don't know why we're pretending like this is some obscure thing nobody could have seen coming. The premise of the game was laid out at the beginning. There was a trailer that introduced the story.
There's crime, and in some cases even like attempted murder. There's crazy stuff going on in this story. Like, if you ever saw the movie Knives Out and you saw how crazy that movie was, that's pretty much this game once you get to that level. But
donating plasma so the DSP can get more DoorDash for his wife and write it off on his taxes is crazy work.
But very much this game,
you
could never get to that level. Just
Holy
play
shit.
it at face value, get to room 46
Literal
and call it a
blood
day
money.
and say you beat it because the credits roll. But man, there's just way, way more to it than that. Okay?
But there doesn't have to be, for the record. Like he said, the credits rolled. The game can be over whenever he wants it to be, and it was on Xbox Game Pass, so he didn't pay anything for it. Every single stream DSP does of Blueprints since that point has been entirely optional, and every single one that underperforms is his fault, and it's on nobody else.
Just, you know,
because he's said before that his channel does best when there's new hype things going on. So if other games have been coming out, which they have, and he is not playing them and instead choosing to play this, he is actively choosing slower support days and then blaming it on his audience anyway, consciously.
secrets hidden under the mansion. There's hidden rooms that aren't even in the mansion. There's all kinds of crazy stuff without massively spoiling. It's crazy because there's so much to it that you could essentially play this game for 100 hours. And as long as you're not lucky, you might not find everything yet. There's people who've actually said they've played Blueprints for over 100 hours and still haven't solved everything, which is crazy to think, right?
Well, they probably wouldn't say that they solved everything because they don't fucking talk like an idiot. They would probably say that they solved them, but I'm being petty.
Now, from what I'm going to understand, there is a definitive ending at some point, but it takes a very long time to get. And here's the catch.
Here's the catch. Here's the catch 26, if you will.
All right. So now,
so you better get to praying, Phil. RN Jesus needs your prayers immediately, and he can tell that you're not in the house of worship too. You can't just do it at home. You have to leave to do it.
We're talking about that. RNG, random number generator. What does it really mean? It means that much like any rogue-like game, you have a limited time to do a run. There's confines in which you can do that run, meaning
he's fucking,
there's a limited amount of footsteps that you can walk through the
RNG
mansion
right
each day.
now.
When you run out of those
No way.
footsteps, the day resets and you have to start completely over.
The year 2025, this guy is pig-splaining roguelikes and fucking RNG. I'm dead. Thank you, Chinatown Scrub, for the 5. Saying, why is every suggestion considered people yelling at him? I swear he must have been a nightmare to work with when he had a normal style job. Well, and that's what I was getting at earlier, or at least alluding to. Everywhere he went, he was a problem and nobody liked him. And that's his mentality on the day-to-day in his own personal operations as you see them on stream. It absolutely was the case in real life at his job. And that is, I believe, one of the main reasons nobody liked fucking working with him. Because he also probably thought his shit didn't stink and everybody was in the wrong and they were just being toxic and unnecessarily unfair to him just because he was him. Which is obviously not the case. But he's always the victim. Thank you, of course, for the 5 Chinatown Scrub.
The rooms are randomly generated, meaning there is a big grouping of rooms, way more than 45 rooms in the game, and you never know which rooms you're going to get the option to draw. Now, there are ways to change that. For example, there's ways to increase the chances of certain rooms over others. If you're on the west side or east side of the mansion, you have an increased chance of drawing other rooms. You see what I mean? There's ways to kind of influence it.
No way.
But in reality, there's no...
You can influence the RNG in a game that's RNG dependent? No way.
way to 100% control it.
You can hear my excitement, I'm sure.
That might actually be the reason why you end up not liking Blueprints. In fact, that's what happened with my wife. She played it and was enjoying it until she got to the point where she was like, wait, so I just can't control everything? No. She's like, well, then why do I want to play this if I'm going to end up playing it for like an hour and nothing may happen that helps? Like,
babe, that's called a roguelike. I don't know if you know this. That's actually the whole genre. Is it your first time hearing about it? There was some pretty big ones that came out not that long ago. Radical Jaws with $2.79 Canadian, not real currency, but I appreciate the thought. Saying, dude doesn't understand RNG as part of the genre. Exactly what I'm saying right now. Yes, absolutely he doesn't. They are. You can of course have a roguelike without any sort of RNG. Obviously, that's possible, but not Blueprints. Blueprints is different in this way, of course.
There may be no permanent unlocks, no permanent changes, nothing learned, and I feel like I just wasted an hour. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the nature of roguelike games.
To
sometimes
the Mario
you have
Kart
an amazing
gameplay.
run
I do
where
have that
monstrous
on the itinerary.
Advancement happens, and other times it just really was a frivolous waste of time. And she was like, I'm not going to do that, you know? So for some people, it works, and some people it doesn't, these roguelikes, right? For me, personally, I really enjoyed Blueprints. Every single time that we have played this game, there seems to have been some big progress and big advancement either in the plot or a whole new mystery has been unraveled or a new mystery has been discovered, whatever it may be. Usually we have some kind of good permanent progress every time that I've played. The problem is everything in between. Because I'll give you a perfect example.
You shouldn't say that about your content. There should not be, at least I think, huge... I don't make this type of content, so maybe I'm misinformed, but the idea that there is large swaths of DSP gameplay on the internet that are just not enjoyable from point A to point B, but the points are worth the shit is wild to me, because I'm not convinced that other gameplay content creators work this way. I'm not convinced that if you enjoy the personality of somebody who plays a video game, that you're going to be bored for large swaths of time. I just find that hard to believe that they would live like DSP if that were the case. And I don't see other content creators acting as DSP does.
Yesterday, I did 3 hours of Blueprints, 2 runs in the mansion. During that time frame, we arguably didn't see anything.
No, I did not see a new Dying Light game coming out in August. I did not watch any of the showcases or anything like that. And I was gonna watch it with DSP yesterday, but I went to cut the grass at the same time he cut the fucking stream and transferred over, and I didn't have time to wait. I wanted to listen to something while I got my yard work done, so I just actually didn't watch it. I might watch it today as well.
Or anything permanent until the last 20 minutes of my 3 hours of gameplay. And that was just by sheer luck that we actually did get the advancement that we did, because the game decided to give me a room that I had never been in before. And when I went in, oh my goodness, there's a solution to a puzzle that we've been waiting for.
Oh boy, a solution to a puzzle. I'm sure you guys were geeked.
Had a chance to get before now. So there you have it. If you're not in control of what happens in the game, and a lot of it is just randomized, you could have a day where it's an amazingly awesome, fun, productive day in stream, and everyone has a great time on stream, and everyone who likes
an amazingly fun, awesome, productive day. It's actual just word salad. It's the worst form of marketing, if you ask me. It's just nonsense gobbledygook. We're 6 minutes into him talking about Blueprints, and I'm not honestly sure what the takeaway has been yet. He's just been pig-splaining a game that he's been playing for the past fucking month, off and on. If you weren't aware of what Blueprints is by now, you're not watching this either.
The game was like, wow, that was awesome. And then you could have an entire session where you're just sitting there with your thumb up your butt, zero progress, bored to tears. And that's the nature of the beast with roguelike games. Perhaps roguelike games are just games that are more intended to be played for yourself than for a streaming audience. Okay. Now,
What's up, OCD
I hope
Gaming?
you understand why I like Blueprints. I've never played a game like this before.
I don't,
a
actually.
Puzzle roguelike with a unique story, and every time that you get one of these big mysteries solved or a new clue, it's like a eureka moment. You know, the light bulb appears above your head. You're like, ooh, and you get that what is it? Not adrenaline, endorphins or whatever. It's like, oh wow.
He gets an endorphin rush from fucking Blueprints, bro. I thought that getting an endorphin rush was bad. No logic, no reason.
Wow, all my hard work has paid off because now something new has happened and a new development, and now we have a new thing to work toward. And I really, really like it. Okay.
And he can like it all he wants. The main concern should be, at least for him right now in this context, is that it's not making money. It's not making good entertainment content. He's not able to sustain his business this way moving forward if low support on the shit continues.
But
his enjoyment of
sadly,
the game is actually completely irrelevant.
I just don't know what
here.
to do in regards to this game because I feel like we've reached the point where I've tried everything to make it work, and I don't think it's working anymore. For example, when we first started playing Blueprints, I did it as day streams, okay? But then what happened was, after a few weeks, interest was starting to drop off, and people wanted other things on the day streams because new games were coming out. So I said, all right, this is definitely a game that could fit a late-night chill stream slot. Let's move it to the night stream and see how it does. It did horribly. I think it was like 2 straight night streams. The game did not do well. Attendance was down, support was down, everyone was complaining. And on top of that, some people were outright saying, listen, we like the game, but we can only attend your daytime streams because of time zone differences. Therefore, please bring it back to the day streams. So I did, but again.
A rare instance in which DSP actually listened to his audience for once. Mark it down in your calendars because I don't actually know the next time that it's going to happen.
Because I was juggling so much, I couldn't play it frequently. So I ended up playing it like once a week, and that's just not enough to make progress in a game like this.
It should be. You should be able to play a game once a week and make active progress in the game. The fact that DSP is incapable of doing that, again, is indicative of a failure on his behalf, not on the game and not on his audience. I just don't understand how we can say so many things out loud and never once like have any sort of introspective analysis at all. Demi Fiend asking me, how would I rate the Summer Lives Game Fest? I didn't watch it yet. That's how I would rate it.
So for several weeks, we were barely playing the game.
Like I said, maybe
it was
today.
A trickle of progress every time. So then finally, the last couple of weeks, I've actually played it quite a lot more. I ended up playing it 2 times a week, if not 3, to try to make big progress. At this point, FYI.
3 times a week playing a fucking puzzle game in order to actually make any sort of progress for an entire, month now? Dude, come on.
The playthrough itself has reached 31 parts, but many of these parts are longer than an hour long. Someone did the math last week before the last stream and said that the playthrough was already at like 42 hours. So actually, as of now, we must be at 45 hours of this game. Okay? But yesterday was basically, how can I say, the day where I was like, I guess this is how it's going to be. All right. So on YouTube, we didn't even have 200 viewers. I think on YouTube, we had like 140, 50 viewers. On Kick, we only had around 50, if not less than that. Okay.
His gameplay routinely gets under about 185 now. So I don't know why we're going to sit here and pretend like the view count actually matters. He stated it before. On this stream, he stated that the views don't really matter. It's all about the local style support.
That was for the whole stream. I'm not saying, that was like,
I don't know why we're sitting here looking at how many viewers we got. It's irrelevant.
Support, abysmal. Like $40, if that. I don't even think we hit $40. And the other problem with it is, like, sometimes you'll say, okay, sometimes streams are for a smaller audience. Like I said, we had 5 or 10 people who were paying attention. That was it.
And
everyone
quit the
else
game.
Was, why is he still playing this? And it's like, well, guys, I invested so much time in this. You got to understand that, like, when you invest that much into something, you want to at least see it through. Just on the merits of, hey, I spent so much time, I want to see how this thing ends, right? But it seems like the audience ain't with me. And I don't know what to do to get the audience back because it's very...
You can't. You cannot get the audience back. Not this late into the game. I said this last week. Those of you that were here, you remember, I'm sure. The way that he plays these games, the large swaths of time in between them, and how little he actually understands them himself. These people don't know what the story is. They don't understand what's going on. It's very difficult to tell. And if they don't know by now, they never will. And that's one of the reasons he has to beat these games faster. The amount of people that just cannot pay attention to what he's doing for large swaths of time is massive.
It's possible that either people played it for themselves or they went and watched someone else play it as I was trying to juggle everything else that I was doing, right?
And that's
I'll
why
tell you this right now.
Him saying, oh, well, I put so much time into this and therefore I absolutely want to see the end. Like, you guys have to as well. No, they do not. None of them do. And that's why there's probably 5 people in chat that give a shit. Those are the only 5 dents out of the 100 and however many are there that actually even know what the story is.
I would love to continue playing Blueprints, but this is a perfect example of why people say things to me such as, hey, Phil, you would just do much better if you just played whatever you liked. Stop worrying about everything around you and just play whatever you like. And then, the views and the engagement and the support will come. It's just not true. It's just not. I have to try to find a way to entertain an audience, and sometimes it's viable and sometimes it's not. Blueprints was entertaining for the first couple of weeks, and then I think a lot of people saw what it was and dropped off. There is an audience for it, but they can't make every stream. It's funny because sometimes when I play Blueprints, we get bigger engagement and support because those certain people can make it. But then some streams they can't, and you can't blame them. That's not their fault. Not everyone can be at every single stream for a game. I get that.
I agree. I think that expecting the same person to show up on a regular basis like that to give money is strange, and it's a bad business model. You should not set your entire business up around that idea. But DSP has anyway, and he's made it very clear by the way that he talks to his audience on a daily basis that this is about the behavior that he expects from his whales. If you're a real DSP fan and you really want to see these playthroughs be finished, that's pretty much how you have to behave in order for that to be the case.
It just doesn't have enough of an audience. Do you know what this reminds me of?
Bill Brasky saying that he's convincing himself that he has multiple audiences for each game and it's ruined his gameplay flow. Absolutely. Absolutely. The pignatized world that he's built for himself, this weird reality that he resides in, absolutely fucks up his business every single day in some capacity. 100%.
This reminds me 1,000,000% of that game that I played years ago. That was a puzzle game. Does anyone remember what it was called? It had lasers. We had to line up lasers for bouncing it through mazes. And it was about it was supposed to be like this existential game where there's robots and they're controlled by AI. And the question is it really people or is it AI? Are these things really alive or not? What's the meaning of life and stuff like that? I can't remember what it was called.
For the record, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about before somebody called it out in chat. It's Talos Principle.
I'm sure someone's going to say it in chat because they always do. This was a puzzle game.
I never played that game. I don't know shit about it. I'm not a puzzle player,
that's it.
bro.
Talos Principle. That was it. The Talos Principle. That game was great. The first few streams that I did of it. And then probably around 20, 30 hours in, people fell off and we stopped playing it because people were yelling at me to stop playing it. They were bored. So I said, okay, we got to move on. It's just that simple that longer games are very hard to retain an audience that can show up and engage in support with the rest of the playthrough. And there's not much I can really do about that.
Okay, so there's an example from literally years ago when he did this and he learned the lesson then and understood the meaning behind it and yet continued forward in his business to commit the same, the same actions and wind up in the same spot. How is this anybody's fault but his own? How is this anybody else's concern other than his? Why is this worthy of bringing up on the show? I don't understand the choices that he makes when he just said that he understood. So why are we talking about it?
Okay. What can I say?
I just couldn't imagine running face first into a brick wall years ago and then seeing the same brick wall and then going, I should run face first into that. That sounds like a great idea. How?
So, it is what it is. What do we do about Blueprints? I would love to keep playing it. Really, I would. But I can't keep playing it for 10 people. And I can't keep playing it if people will not show up and engage and support the streams. I can't have it that every time I play Blueprints, we have a dead stream where everyone complains they're bored and I make $30. Especially when people are yelling at me to play other things. Phil, will you play this game? Did you hear about this game? What about this game? Why aren't you playing more of this game? I'm waiting. When are you going back to this game? And it's like, I like being in demand. I love it. I would much rather be in demand.
Super in demand, the guy, obviously.
Get it? The problem is
people all over the internet obviously clamoring for more guy content. He's just not playing enough games. He should be streaming 24 hours a day, I think, in order to put out the proper amount of robust content that the vast majority of the internet is constantly looking for.
So many people want me to do so much that whenever I invest a lot of time into something, it seems like it ends up being a waste. Like with Blueprints, this was a game originally I was never going to play. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was getting into, quite frankly, when I started playing it. And then when I started investing more and more and I started liking it more, it seemed like it exponentially gave the opposite effect to the viewing audience. The more I liked it and wanted to play it, more people yelled at me and said, this game sucks. Why are you still playing it? I can't believe you're still streaming Blueprints. And it's like, well, because you told me to play it and I got hooked on it. You know what I'm saying?
He got hooked on it. He got addicted. Dude, everything this guy likes, he's addicted to. He's hooked. They've got the tendrils in him. Like, he can't ever just enjoy something in a normal way, or at least describe it in a normal way. It's always coded in addiction for some reason. Who cares with the $2 saying, to be fair, Atlas, you don't have that level 1 mindset. Now, that's true. That's true. I'm not seeing it from the level 1 perspective. Maybe I should be more gracious. You're right. I'll work on that. Thank you. Who cares for the humbling it too? I appreciate it.
So I just don't know.
Do I think that so many people is repeated to a lot of people? I think that they're probably too many, that they're two separate cultures, but I think they're kind of like the Greeks and the Romans, and that they share a lot of similarities. It's just a question of, did so many people come first, or did a lot of people come first? I think it was a lot of people. So
what to do? I don't want this to be every single time that I play a game and we don't hit a support goal, that immediately means that the game is off the table and we're never playing it ever again.
John Bono, yes.
I'm well aware that there's probably content creators out there that's how they treat everything, but I want to be able to enjoy games and understand that there may be a few times when I play a game that it's not going to be able to be well supported or well engaged. You might have a dead stream, okay? But I also just can't have one game be the game that no one cares about. Understand?
What? I thought that was literally an agreement that he came up with his audience's approval not that long ago, that there can be absolutely dead playthroughs that nobody fucking cares about, and as long as he and like one other person enjoy it, it's worth doing as long as everything else is being successful. Now we're backtracking on that. Now we can't allow those kind of playthroughs to exist because money, of course. Just pick a fucking lane, dude. That's all I ask. I just want him to be consistent on something once in a while.
So I guess we got to figure this out. So what do we do?
You got to figure this out.
Says, what about a 3-strike rule? Exactly. This is what we got to start talking about. Do we give it a chance and then do a second stream? And if the second stream is falling off, then we say, all right, forget it. In a game like Blueprints, I do feel like we're near the end.
And like we're coming up with a 3-strike rule. We're actively creating a rule set to govern what video games we do and don't play on a regular basis. Like, what the fuck kind of content is this? I've never seen content be created in such a way. I'm not convinced that it should be. It's so off-putting. It doesn't, I don't know how you could know this about how DSP structures his content and watch on a day-to-day basis and think that any of it is genuine or real or enjoyable, when all of these parameters and rule sets are constantly just out of view. Because just enjoying the content daily is not enough. Knowing that tomorrow you're going to have to hear about for maybe 30, 40 minutes at a time about how you're a fucking idiot that doesn't give enough and none of these playthroughs are doing good enough. I just don't get it, man. I'll never understand the Dent mindset.
There's 8 doors behind which there's 8 puzzles. And I guess once you solve all 8 of those, that's nearing the end. And then it's like the final thing. And that's the end of the game. So we're there. We've already opened 4 of the 8 doors. Okay, we know where the other 3 keys are. It's just a matter of RNG. And I mean that. It's literally a matter of RNG. I could boot up Blueprints right now and immediately get one of the keys if the game gives me the room to do it. But if it doesn't, there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get it if they don't give it to me. So,
what an explanation.
It's kind of a bummer, but that's just the situation.
If the game doesn't give me the winning parameters, I can't win the game. Crazy, I know.
That I'm in, I'm at the mercy of the game. So, do we put it into the schedule again? Or do we just say, we're done with it? I would love feedback. And it may be that we don't get an answer right now, but we get an answer over the course of the week. I would love to hear your thoughts on this because I just don't have an answer. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, I don't know how to handle it. At this point, I'm curious what your thoughts are because mine are, I want to keep playing it, but I need to do things that you guys want, right? I can't just do what I want because it's not working.
All right. So
So,
then we drop the
it is
games
what
that
it
people
is.
aren't watching. That's the only takeaway that I think that you could walk away with reasonably after all of that was said, and that's the conclusion. I can't do what I want to do because it's not working. Then you should do what other people want you to do, which is not play these games, and that's why they're not watching them. There's no more conversation to be had.
What do you guys think? Demolition Daddy says do a poll. I don't think that a poll is really going to solve it.
I love when people recommend that he do a poll because he instantly shoots it down every single time because of trolls. It just another reminder that the trolls live rent free and actively dictate how he operates his channel.
FF9000 says many games are about RNG. If it were Pokemon, you got to keep going for encounters until the desired Pokemon shows up. You're complaining about a core aspect of video games. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I want you to understand something. I'm not criticizing or complaining about blueprints. I love blueprints. I think it's fine. Some people don't like that aspect. I actually really like it. Okay. Really. Lipsian says the sigil doors aren't really required for the true ending. I do have the steps required written out for my playthrough. So what the hell is the real ending? Because the game makes it seem like that's the true ending. I mean, when you get to room 46, it says, hey, guess what? You're not done because there's these other doors and other keys you need to find. So then what is the real ending?
Like we need the audience to explain to us how to get the real ending. Like then why are we playing? I don't understand the appeal of getting a true ending that your audience is actively walking you through. It's different if you look up a guide and you're doing it solo just for your own your own pride to see it all the way through. But as a content creator, as somebody who's supposed to be entertaining, I don't see where the entertainment value even comes into play when your audience is actively explaining how to do the steps to you. I don't understand.
Good Lord.
Yeah, chat playing blueprints is I don't think that sells.
I don't know. How about this? All right.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it this way. Because you know what? This person actually had made a good point now. They said, this is basically becoming a sunken cost fallacy. I mean, you're right. When you invest a certain amount of time into a playthrough or a game, you expect that you want to see it to the end, right? Can you imagine investing over 40 hours? I think we're around 45 hours into blueprints and just be like, we're just dropping it now, you know?
For the record, I do that all the time. I play a bunch of games for a very long period of time and then never finish them. And I a lot of the time, I never think about it again. So I cannot relate to DSP in this capacity. Great White Hype asking if I've been playing Tainted Grail. Yes, I didn't play it this week because I didn't have time. A little tangent, but I've got 23 hours in the game now. And I'm only out of the first area. Because I play like the guy, I guess.
It's pretty bad.
I've been having a good time.
Watch it
There's bits that are jank for sure, but
and I'm with you. I'd be pissed too. But what do you do? So here's what I want to do. All right, I want to do one more stream of blueprints, and I will announce it far ahead of time. It's going to be next week. I'll announce it ahead of time so everyone is well aware of when it is. And people who like blueprints, I'm going to make a call to you to show up for it. All right, do what you can, and I understand if you can't, but I'm going to say, hey. We're doing a big blueprint stream. I want to make progress. I'm going to need help with this. Not only am I...
What? No. That's not how you sell that, though. What? I'm gonna need help with this puzzle game? Who the fuck goes to watch somebody play a puzzle game and actively get help? I don't think that has an audience. No other fucking Let's Player plays puzzle games like that, I don't think. And if so, they're just as fucking stupid.
They're saying, show up and, of course, financially support the stream. But I'm saying, engage with the stream. If there's something that I've literally missed 100 times, let me know so I can find it and make progress. I can't just keep going by and not doing things and not making progress. I need to finish the game. I want to see it through. But if it really is RNG, then I don't know how long it's going to take. I need people to be there for it.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ, get it out. I've seen other content creators say no backseating. It's literally a rule in their chat. It's a rule on their streams. DSP is the exact opposite. Backseating actively encouraged for every single game. You might as well just fucking remote play with somebody at this point.
So if I do one more stream of blueprints and this game gets no one showing up, no one's engaging and helping me with it, and no one supports the stream, then I'm sorry, that's going to be the end of it. And I'll announce it formally during that video or whatever too. So those who are watching it on demand will know. But I really don't want to drop it. Like, I'm trying to be as forthcoming with my feelings as I can. I love Blueprints. I really enjoy the streams. They're chill, they're interactive, they're fun. Every time that there's a new story development, it's like a eureka moment. I really enjoy that feeling. I want to see it through, but I can't play this game for 100 hours.
Mbode saying that you need to pay him and be his personal guide. Yeah, imagine buying a strategy game or a strategy guide back in the day for your favorite game, and as you're 100%ing and getting all of the collectibles or whatever, it slid you a 5 every 15 minutes. That's basically what the guy is asking for. That's what he's demanding. That would be robust and meaningful to me as well, actually, now that it's said like that.
No one's going to stick around for that long. Already 45 hours in, we've got people who have fallen off and don't care about it. Every time I stream it, people yell at me, why am I wasting my time? It's a very frustrating endeavor, okay? It is. So
I agree. It's very
let's see
frustrating.
what happens. Let's do one more stream of Blueprints next week as a day stream, so that way those who can make it can make it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we say, well, we gave it a try. I formally made it known that this was going to happen, right? Let's see how it goes next time. Okay? You know, with Clear Obscure, it was easy to make a decision. Let's just focus on the story for now.
I don't give a fuck about Clear Obscure. So that was the 3-strike rule set, and as you could hear on the end of that, it's also very reminiscent of the creation of the "This Is How You Don't Play." If point A to point, like between point A and point B, is worthless and nobody gives a fuck, why wouldn't you just make a compilation or an edited version of the gameplay with the important parts in it to you know, gravitate to an actual audience and have people view it in a way that's not going to waste a fuck ton of their time? But of course, he's still incapable of doing that. He still doesn't have anybody that's willing to put in the editing time for him to make that kind of content that might actually do better and be far more entertaining. I don't think that that's even a question. If you know, cut up all of DSP's huge dead air segments or parts where he's literally being handheld, there can be entertainment value in there. But who wants to sit through all of that? I don't know. And Tuesday must have been really, really bad for the guy. If I recall correctly, he played Clear Obscure on Tuesday, and it was so bad, it went so abysmally that the entire night stream, the daily wrap rather, was just a cope. He was just crying. Not literally, of course.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was
what up,
Tuesday,
Panko Breadcrumbs? Thank you for stopping by and being toxic.
Admittedly, today
That's
was
what we
kind of
do
a
here.
weird day, because today we were playing fighting games on a day when normally I wouldn't, you know, because we're not doing Friday night fights this week. And this was kind of a, you know, weird middle of the week, counting down to the release of the Switch 2 and Mario Kart kind of day. It wasn't, you know, really hype scheduled games. And because of that, today kind of sucked. All right? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give it to you like it is. I'm going to tell you why today sucked.
I don't like DSP saying he's gonna give it to me in any sort of capacity. I'm gonna be for real. It is not a sentence structure I like coming from the guy. I'm gonna give it to you. I'll pass.
So here's what happened today. We started off today with a level 1 podcast, excuse me, where we talked about a couple of interesting topics.
Super interesting topics, of course.
Because there was some timely stuff that actually happened. First off, Witcher 4 had a tech performance demo release over, I guess it was an Unreal like conference or convention or something like that, where all the devs who were, you know, making games with Unreal Engine were showing their stuff off. And so CD Projekt Red was one of the big ones, and we watched the whole thing. And I reacted to it on
Oh
the
my
podcast.
God, it was so
definitely something
boring.
that was interesting to watch.
The guy, watching anything with the guy is actually a waste of time, but that especially, I just can't think of a more obnoxious reaction that he's had than to the fucking Witcher 4 one. Specifically because he cried about Cyberpunk for about half of it, which was completely irrelevant.
And that was timely because it just happened today, so I was able to do it pretty much live. But then we had to talk about the future of Blueprints, which sadly, as you know from yesterday, is doing horribly. It's not working as a
It's just look at him raking through his hair,
but then
nonstop.
We had to talk about the future of Blueprints, which sadly, as you know from yesterday, is doing horribly. It's not working as a late stream, and now sadly, it's failing as a day stream. So we came to a quick determination. I am going to attempt.
Yeah, you got to grease it up right before bed. Absolutely, I agree. But got to make sure your pillowcases are just fucking slippery when you get in there. Hell yeah.
To do one more stream of Blueprints. And if it does decently, I'll keep it in the rotation. If it tanks again, we're done. And it sucks because after all the amount of gameplay that we played, that's a really hard decision for me to make. But I want you to tune in, watch the podcast from this morning, and you'll see why we came to that determination, okay? We didn't actually even have time after those 2 things that we did to look for wheels and pedals for PC for future driving streams like Truck Sim. So we'll probably end up doing that tomorrow morning on the show, okay? So after that, we jumped.
A huge question that I don't think that I ponder enough. Why does the daily wrap still exist? Who needed to know at the end of the day that the DSP didn't get around to buying a wheel or even looking at them? It's just, I don't think I asked that question enough, despite seeing the daily wrap often. It's very weird that this piece of content even exists to begin with.
Back in the Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Now you remember we had come to an agreement, and the agreement was that we are just going to finish the story of this game. We're going to get to the end, and then at the very end, we're going to see, does it make sense to go do more side content, but we're just going to try to finish it, because at this point, we're over 50 hours in, and the attendance and support is dwindling. 2 streams ago, I think I made like $30-something on the stream, and then last time, because I brought up, oh man, I don't want to retire the game, I want to beat it, we actually had a rallying, and a bunch of people came to that last Clear Obscure stream and supported it, so we did well.
But just think about how weird that is, though. The fact that you actively had to complain on the stream and it had such a reaction that you did significantly better, I would feel ashamed. I would feel awful if that were the case, if that had to be what I did on a daily basis.
This morning was the worst stream of Clear Obscure.
Pathetic.
And the worst stream that I have actually done in about a year and a half. I think the last time I had a stream this dead were the night streams when I was playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth almost 2 years ago. All right? Attendance was abysmal. We had less than 150 people on YouTube and only about 40 to 50 people on Kick. So one of the lowest attendance streams I've ever had in my life. Okay?
True. That is a true statement. Despite him, I believe, just saying about the exact same numbers about blueprints in the last clip. I believe he said 150 and 50 in that clip too. So that, anyway, but it's true. DSP used to get like hundreds and hundreds and even 1,000 people in his chat back in the day. And now we're actively pulling in sub 150, sub 200 collectively. Hell yeah, dude. You know what they say, the bigger they are, of course.
Then the support was non-existent. Like, no exaggeration, we raised about 16 to 20 bucks on the podcast. Guess how much we raised?
We've entered siege mode too.
Of only story of Clear Obscure.
This daily wrap is going downhill quickly. We're complaining about how the rallying, the arms are crossed. It's the lowest supported ever.
$7 for 3 hours of gameplay. Okay? Now, here's the thing. There are people who are watching Clear Obscure on demand, but sadly, this is just not translating into support outside of the views on demand. And I feel like, sadly, this is a playthrough where the people who like it are watching it on demand. They're not coming to the streams. I mean, there were some people who were engaging on the streams. It was like 10 people. It was like 5 people on the YouTube side and 5 people on the Kick side, okay?
Which seems kind of like a fucking insult to the people that are watching the videos on demand. They're watching the archived streams. Like, the content is uploaded specifically so you can watch it that way. But again, to DSP, this isn't good enough. You're not actively on the streams that you can't make, giving him actual dollars into his bank account. So this game playthrough is it's gonna have to go. Your views aren't enough. He hasn't built the business in a way in which being an on-demand style viewer benefits him enough to continue doing it. It's a wonder he uploads the shit at all, in all honesty, as archives. Anders Pack with another 100 SEK. Saying Piggy reacting live also has the benefit of Piggy reacting to his own reaction later on. I saw a bloke playing Oi Oi music. Just started a stream, so I'm off. Take care and stay sane, everyone. Well, I appreciate the 100 SCK. Anders Pack. I got lost in the sauce towards the end. Thank you.
So, obviously, this really sucks because I already had a really bad stream of blueprints the day before. So now we're talking back-to-back terrible streams for engagement and support. That's not good. So what do we do? Well, I mean, we're in the end game. I'm basically a few minutes away, likely, from beating Act 2 and then getting into Act 3. And people are saying the story of Act 3 will probably take me 2 streams. And then the game is done. Or, that means skipping all the side content. Which people are saying the best content of the game is the side content at the end of the game. It means I have to skip it because no one will show up and engage and support with this playthrough anymore. I don't know what to do. I have no solutions. We already said that we were going to play it till the end, but just
But what does he mean he has no solutions? He makes the content. He has infinite solutions on how the content goes forward. He understands the problem, and there's two paths forward. You know, he can either continue to play it and not give a shit, or he can not play it and go make what he believes to be more money and more viewership. Those are the options. Those are the solutions. Again, literally just going, I don't know, guys, there's nothing I can do, when he's the only person that is actually capable of doing anything. Sweet Papa Stovepipe with the 18 months and 60 skulls. Thank you so much. So many months. Saying big ups Atlas on replay today. Have a good one, lads. Well, I appreciate the replay, unlike the guy. All video on demand style viewers are, or even audio style on demand listeners are appreciated.
Story. I guess that's what we're doing. It just seems like every time I play this game, we're going to have no one show up, and it's going to be a dead stream of people complaining that I'm playing this game still. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Why people liked the game for a month and now they don't. Or on top of that, why people just have no attention span anymore. Because you notice it's every lengthy game that doesn't work anymore. Anything longer than 15 to 20 hours and it's not multiplayer, people freak out and hate. I just don't get it anymore.
And now it's on the audience. I mean, it was always on the audience, but it's especially on the audience now. It's on their attention span, not his. It's not his fault for making the game boring as shit and not providing any sort of entertainment value himself. Of course, it's the audience who's incapable of paying attention to the drivel that he spews constantly. All of the la-la-laws during the gameplay or whatever the fuck he's saying because he has no commentary to actually add. Yeah, you're supposed to listen to that and enjoy it, of course.
I don't. As a gamer, it's part of my gaming life and culture. Longer games make sense, especially when you're playing an awesome.
Part of my gaming life? I'm fucking sorry. What?
It's not multiplayer. People freak out and hate. I just don't get it anymore. I don't. As a gamer, it's part of my gaming life and culture. Longer games make sense.
It's part of my gaming life and gaming culture. Stop talking, man. Just stop it. You're not fit to formulate sentences, I don't think.
Especially
oh
when
my
you're playing
God.
an awesome game that has tons of story and content and is getting better and better.
Weirdo.
And that's what's happening with Clear Obscure. Like, I'm leveling up and we're fighting tougher bosses and things. But it's just not enjoyable when no one's there along for the ride with me. You know what I mean?
What up, Jesse Green?
So, I'm not going to lie. The first stream literally sucked. No one showed up, no one engaged, and no one supported. And it's the
also crazy to just fucking come in and just outright say that the first stream sucked and then pin it all on the amount of money that you made. It's so transparent as to what the actual care for the stream is about. It's all financial. It's all fiscal.
The worst stream I've done in a year and a half. Then the night stream tonight, because I couldn't do fighting games Friday night, which you guys have been enjoying and supporting recently, Friday night fights. I wanted to do them once this week. So I said, let's do it on Tuesday night just to mix it up and break up the week. So we did more Capcom versus SNK 2. Now, admittedly, I will say this. Sadly, the matches were laggy as hell. Most people are no longer playing this collection, and it's only 2 weeks old, and no one wants to play it. And that's just pathetically sad that Capcom, again, has done it. This is the third collection like this. Capcom Fighting Collection 1, the Marvel Collection, and now this. It's just, they're dead. No one plays them after a couple of weeks because Capcom doesn't put in crossplay, and the netcode is fucking terrible.
But this is the third collection that he's bought. If this happened once, you know the old adage, fool me, shame on you, can't get fooled again. That should have been DSP. But instead, he fell for the same fucking scam, as he wants to call it or believes it to be. Fell for it 3 different times when none of the changes that he believes would have been positive, none of the meaningful changes like crossplay were ever added, but he continued to buy them anyway. He continued to support the practice that he doesn't agree with, despite openly pointing out what the issue is. I just can't imagine falling for the same thing that many times. But it's of course Capcom's fault. It's the audience's fault. It's the player's fault. It's the netcode's fault. Never on DSP, of course.
Capcom makes no.
And I just seen it. Where did it go? Don't scroll away. Penitent Sin saying that he loves the bowling alley shoe guy fit that DSP has on. He definitely does look like he's going to the fucking bowling alley. He's on his real middle-aged Italian dad grind set, I guess.
Effort to improve. So I end up getting a couple of weeks of
because of his
content
son,
out of them,
Jasper
and then they're dead.
Kitty.
And that's what's happened here is the few people who are left actually are cheating. I'm not kidding you. I actually found someone who had a diamond ranking in the game who was using a lag switch. They would get to round 3.
Definitely Anka Tire, for real.
Ratio 2 Sagat. They would wait till they had level 3 super. They would turn on their lag switch, which would make the game go to red connection, and they would just roll super, and you can't block it in the lag. So literally, they would hit you with a level 3 super, and you couldn't do anything about it, and they would win every time. Finally, I said, fuck this, and I realized they were doing it, and I played incredibly hard, and I beat them, and then I said, I'm not playing them again, and I quit. I couldn't believe it. That's who's left. These low-level degenerates are playing this fucking game.
These fucking degenerates like lag switchers definitely belong on the cross, despite not actually having any sort of legitimate proof that this person was lag switching in 2025, the year of our Lord, I guess. I haven't personally... back in the day, lag switching used to be a thing. I don't know that people even still do that. And if they did, I'm sure there's a million other things to blame before you get as salty as to blame lag switching without any sort of proof. That's crazy. But sure, these fucking degenerates.
Lag abusing scrubs. Now, overall, it was still a good night. I had some good matches against people, but most of them were insanely laggy. Again, you tell the collection you want a 4 to 5 bar connection.
Yeah, we have fiber now. It's not Xbox 360. I have not legitimately heard anybody being accused of lag switching since like Black Ops 2. I just don't know that is an issue. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it does actually have to do with how good internet is, or it was taken out of the way that the games accept the connections. I don't know. But I haven't heard it in ages. DSP is in a different realm of cope.
It gives you a red connection.
Years in the past,
and
looking for an excuse.
The quality of the connection before you join the match. So you can't even say, oh, I don't want that. It's too low bar connection. They did it on purpose because if they did, no one would play the collection. You understand? So it's bad. It's a rip-off collection. It's already almost dead. I was trying my best to entertain, and I did. I did some good stuff tonight. But it's really hard when the collection is a piece of garbage and people are already quitting it.
It's the game's fault.
We raised like $57 of support tonight. The thing was, there was engagement. People were talking all night about the matches. And yes, there were people watching, trolls and everything, but no one wanted to support it. So this overall was my worst engaged, worst supported day that I've had in years. And I know why. I said this to the audience. It's because there's no new games right now, right? We've been playing.
The game, dude, it's the games. New games are going to save the business. The Switch 2 is going to save the business. I hit the microphone stand. The Mario Kart World is going to save the business. Please, nobody in chat give spoilers. This is always the case with DSP, dude. He genuinely believes that it's never him. Oh my God. There's just to have so many of these, bits lined up back to back to back. Days apart, hours apart. Like it's crazy that he says the same thing so fucking frequently. And even when there are new games, it's still the games. It's still the publishers. It's the schedule. It's other people.
For a long time, the best streams are chill streams. Minecraft and Truck Simulator are the two games that are doing consistently well because it's relaxing, it's fun, it's interactive. Everything else people are bored of. So perhaps with the Switch 2 coming out, perhaps with other games coming out this month like Mind's Eye, and they're going to announce other games at Summer Game Fest and things coming up. Maybe it's a godsend, right? Maybe now is the right time for a new console and a new Mario Kart and things, because I think things are just dead. Otherwise, people are just not interested in these games that I'm playing because they've been around too long and people sadly just don't have attention span for them. All I will say is this: if you're someone who likes either Blueprints or Claire Obscure, I don't know where you've been, but I can't. I'm floundering now. I want to play these more. I'm going to do one more stream of Blueprints.
Dude, an actual fucking whale call in the daily wrap. I don't know where you've been. We're still talking about you. We still think about you regularly. And I'm floundering. I need you here. You were my better half when it came to playing Blueprints. Okay. That's legitimately the conversation we're having here going into the evening style for DSP, right before he gets offline and heads to hang out with his wife and ponder on his life before closing his eyes for the night. We're actively sending a fucking whale call. Oh my God.
And see if it works. And if it doesn't, we're done with it. Even though we've played as much as we have, I have to move on to other things people want. And the same thing with Claire Obscure. Like, I know we're in the end game, but what the hell happened? Where was everyone? I can't do a stream for 10 people. Okay? Okay, so yeah.
All right, sounds good, dude.
Disheartening, frustrating day. On top of all of that, no updates on my Switch 2. I'm waiting all day, nothing. No update, no shipment confirmation, no shipment information. I hope tomorrow's a better day, folks. Here's what we're doing tomorrow, okay? On the podcast in the morning, number one, I hope you will come by and rally and support the show. I mean it. Some days we get tons of support for the podcast. Today we had like none. Please come by and support the show in the morning, all right? During that show, I'm hoping to look for a wheel and pedal for PC. The problem that I think we're going to arise here, people are telling me the best one is the Logitech. but they're telling me it's over.
It's not the best. They said that the gold standard, just another turn of phrase the DSP doesn't understand. Gold standard, which means completely middle of the road as far as entry goes. I mean,
$300, and I'm not dropping over $300 on a peripheral that I'm not sold we're going to use all the time. And I just had 3 bad streams. I don't have a ton of excess cash now to drop on this peripheral because 3 bad streams in a row is not good. Okay.
Please keep in mind that this is the Tuesday night after he's received $1,600 on, what was it, the Friday before? So over the course of 4 days, he no longer has $300 from the $1,600 he was given in order to buy the equipment that he's told his audience he would be interested in purchasing for the content. Just think about how much money you have to squander and how quickly in order to not have $300 4 days later.
Okay. So let's see what happens tomorrow on the show. Maybe it is well supported. And
yeah, 15 years of business, 4 streams, it's on thin ice. I just couldn't imagine finding any sort of like comfort or safety in owning a business that is 4 slow days away from actually fucking closing the doors and shuttering. I couldn't.
I'll get the Logitech. We'll see
That's
what happens.
not a business,
But after
bro.
that, we're going to do Elden Ring Night Rain. What I want to do on that stream is see the other 3 bosses I haven't seen. I think one is supposed to be a knight, and then one is oh God, what are they? There were 6 and we saw 3. What the hell were the other 2? I'm having a brain fart right now what the other 2 are. But I want to see what they are. I think it would be pretty cool to see what the final 3 bosses are we haven't seen. Plus, I think in those runs you see other mini bosses we haven't seen yet either. So that'll be fun.
Happy Lula asking what didn't save the business this time. Blueprints and Claire Obscure still aren't saving the business. So I'm glad you're caught up now. Good morning.
So there is Night Rain tomorrow, and I will pick a different character. I won't just keep picking.
But Mario and the Switch 2 definitely are. Just wait.
Or another class. Okay.
It's gonna be super productive and robust.
Tomorrow night, Minecraft. Why are we doing Minecraft? Because the Minecraft stream on Sunday night did exceptionally well, and I told you guys if we hit the goal, I would do it again. We did, so we're doing it again. So guys, please tomorrow, let's come back. Let's get engagement. Get people to show up and engage and hang out and like the games. And please come support the streams. All right. I really need to bounce back. I do. One final thing. I know people are like, but Phil,
I really need to bounce back. I need your money. I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. It is again the theme of this stream here. The low support being an epidemic and the way that he grovels before the dents, begging for cash is so pathetic and shameless. I have a physical reaction in my heart of hearts.
Don't you think that everyone is just holding out for the marathon?
It's disgusting.
No, I don't. I think a lot of people are getting their Switch 2 on Thursday and they'll be playing it. I think we will have some people for the marathon, but I don't think there's literally all the regular supporters have decided to hold off on Thursday. I don't think that's happening. I don't. Just being honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong because I've been wrong. Sometimes people say, "Oh no, maybe you're underestimating," and I'm like, maybe I am. I don't think so though. All right. So please have a good evening. I'll see you all in the morning.
All right. Mr. White saying that they can see the desperation so they don't donate. He's fucked this up badly. Well, this is the ebb and flow cycle of DSP. This is the roller coaster he rides, the high highs and the low lows, the super low support, the begging, and all of the detractors piling on him and shitting all over him and him being down bad inevitably makes some whale absolutely wail out and send him a bunch of cash. He lives the high life for a few months, few weeks, has a good time, flexes on the haters, and then he finds himself right back here. It's cyclical. It always happens. That's why anytime you're bored with DSP, you can just clock out and clock back in later down the road, and you'll find this again. Every single time. It's just how long. Now, I don't have any clips from Wednesday, and I don't care to. You didn't want to watch Minecraft anyway. We're going to move on to the obviously super important and meaningful to me and you segment that was the Mario Kart Marathon, which everybody showed up for. You all loved it. You said it was the best thing you ever seen. And I completely disagree with you and you're all idiots because the unboxing was awful. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want to waste your time. But as an audio style, I didn't know how bad it was. And then I finally turned the video on. And the fucking Switch is halfway out of frame. The cases that he's unboxing are all like Chinese knockoffs that are literally produced in the exact same factory and look goofy as shit on there. And he very clearly doesn't care about them. He doesn't intend on legitimately using them. It just sucked. It was a huge waste of time. It was like 2 hours of nonsense and looking at his hands. I didn't care for it. What was actually far more interesting was the gameplay itself. Imagine that. The DSP Space Gaming channel's best content in this instance is actually the gameplay. I know, it's weird. So here is a clip from Duty Streams for the Mario Kart gameplay. Because, of course, DSP is not actually even capable of playing children's games. He's still fucking terrible. It is innate in him to just be bad at games. I've never seen a grown man complain more in my entire life about the AI in Mario Kart and how they were cheating at 43 years old.
Stickers map.
Hopefully that's a reasonable volume.
So single player. We got Grand Prix. I'm gonna try to put this more confident. Here, that's better. Grand Prix, Knockout, Tour, Time Trials, Racer Battle, Grand Prix, because we're gonna try to unlock all the courses. This is launch day, and this is what I'm calling Rainbow Road Rush. My idea is, can I unlock the Rainbow Road in one sitting on launch day? I mean, that means I'm gonna have to play through all the courses. So we're gonna see how it goes today. Okay?
And this is a goal that again a child should be capable of doing. I don't understand how this was some magnificent feat that he thought that he was accomplishing that would get people absolutely excited to be there and show up in droves to play on Rainbow Road.
Yeah, take that, you son of a bitch. Hell out of my way. Now we got Boo, King Boo. Oh, why did he just get a speed boost? What the hell?
And you'll notice this, like the whole time he plays, I don't think I ever saw him
I don't know what that
actually
was.
utilizing the new mechanics. Like the flipping or the grinding on the rails or bouncing off of the walls to get the extra speed boost. Like there is a different type of skill ceiling on this as far as I've seen. And I've never seen him utilize it. Not legitimately.
Great. Well, I mean,
And you might also notice, because I believe this is one of the first races that he did, I want to say. He started the game with drive assist on, which means that he couldn't even drive off of the track if he wanted to. And when the audience inevitably told him to turn it off, he pretended he didn't know what they were talking about and that he was just going to continue to play the game because he doesn't have time to change it in the settings, which he could do at any point.
hit by multiple items. What am I supposed to do?
Smart steering is on by default, but they explained to him what the mechanic was, and he was like, oh, it's probably in the menu, you guys. I don't know. I started playing the game. I'm busy. And then continued to play. On a single-player game, you can pause at any point. No one wants... I say this legitimately. I don't think that there's anybody who wants to see a content creator play Mario Kart with drive assist on. I don't think so.
Nice! Yo, the blue shell. How about in second? Someone used a shortcut.
He did turn it off like
So
4 races in. This is true. This is true.
The computer knows all the shortcuts. I don't know the shortcuts yet. So that's kind of unfair because I don't know what the shortcuts are.
It's unfair that I don't know the map
Yeah, so
the first time
150cc,
playing it.
They know all the shortcuts. I lost to Luigi because he had a shortcut I don't know about.
So what's the solution that he wants here then? The AI doesn't ever use the shortcuts because it could technically always be your first time playing a map? Like, that seems silly, dude.
Yeah. I can't
Make
do
that make
downplane.
sense.
I can't go to auto steer. There is no 20cc. Or 200cc. It doesn't even exist. People are like, oh, dude, you didn't do 200cc. It's not even in the game. Idiot. So I wonder...
He wants
it's gonna be
SBMM
super
for
hard
Mario
'cause the
Kart,
computer's
for real,
always
for
gonna know
real.
the shortcuts.
The only way he would feel good about
I
it.
might not be able to win because they know the shortcuts and I don't know them, you know?
And this is his first race, and he's already coming to these massive conclusions. Oh, I'll never be able to win a race because they're going to know all of the shortcuts, you guys. The first race, he's already throwing his hands up because he placed second.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone took the book, says turn off smart racing. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. All I did was boot the game and start playing. So I don't even know what that means.
Which is so weird as a content creator to not go into the settings and check the sound volume, make sure that there's subtitles, make sure smart steering is off, make sure you're in the right resolution. Like all of these things, I feel like are pretty much musts as soon as you launch a game. Go in the settings and make sure you like it how you like it. But not DSP, just fucking launch and play it.
What the hell is smart racing? Well, let's go to the next race. No, the speaker's only good if someone's attacking you. You notice when I had the speaker, no one attacked me? You noticed that, right? Just remember, as soon as I got the triple shell, all of a sudden everyone in front of me had triple green shells to protect from it. That's why the game's gonna cheat. At 150cc, the game will cheat, just like it used to. The game will always conveniently have all the things it needs to win, and then all your items will be worthless. They always do that.
Yeah, that's how AI works in video games. Or like very often, actually. They get extra rubber. The rubber banding is a mechanic just in pretty much every racing game. It's designed that way. They are cheating, actually. The AI is getting an advantage that you will never have, and there's nothing you can do about it. Welcome to single player difficulty. This is a lifelong gamer, as in his gaming life, his gaming culture, and he's still confused as to how you make AIs in a racing game actually be able to compete with a real life player.
I don't know what happened. He like side flipped and unflipped, and I didn't like that. He side flipped onto a rail, and I couldn't get an item because of it. I don't know why he did that. I don't know how the side flipping works.
Obviously, great commentary coming from the guy. I can't imagine why this... Spoiler, the stream didn't do well. I know I said no spoilers earlier. But I think you guys are very quickly coming to the realization that the gameplay is not going to save this stream. That this is not exactly gonna rake in the cash.
No item.
I also think it's really weird, as a grown man who's been playing video games pretty much his entire life, to still even be in competition with the AI in Mario Kart. Like, there's a select few people that are allowed to lose to AI in Mario Kart, and that is old people, children, and normies. Those are the only people. If you are not in those categories, first or second place are the only positions you should be taking in an AI-dominated fucking Mario Kart race. That's it.
All right. Exactly. Where's the champagne for the win? Why have I not been showered in champagne for my first win in Mario Kart World? What is going on? Guys, we are literally so close to a shot. You don't want to see me take a shot and try to play this? Come on. Let's do it. Move the camera up a little. I'm blocking the laps. Okay.
Now this, please keep your eye on this one, because this is one of the best moments, I think, from the entire gameplay session. As you can see here, he is in first place despite just driving off of the track. And you can also see, I'm pointing it out right here on the minimap, there is a blue shell in the fucking, like, it's on the field. This is in play. It's already coming. You can see it. I can't rewind the way I want to. No. You can see it has locked onto him. It is within range based off of the HUD icon on his screen right now, as it says he is still in first place.
Wait, I wasn't in first. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. I got hit with a blue shell and I was in third. How am I supposed to come back now? The game blatantly cheated. Blue shell hits first. Why did blue shell hit me? I was in third. The game literally just cheated.
This is a lifelong gamer who has been playing Mario Kart since the SNES, and he does not understand the basic mechanics that are the blue shell in Mario Kart. Lifelong gamer. You can't write this shit. You can't make it up. You can't even fathom a gamer this stupid, as dumb as that title is. Like I said, unless they're literally like old people and children.
What the hell was that? No, I wasn't in first. I was in third. Complete bullshit. Don't make an excuse. The game literally just fucking cheated.
John Doe asking if I could explain what the blue shell does. I don't know if he's being genuine, but in case you are, the blue shell is thrown from basically the back of the fucking pack, and it seeks out whoever is in first place. I believe it targets first place based off of when it was thrown, but I definitely know that before it reaches the target, regardless of whether they are actually in first place, second, or sometimes third, it does have a window where it has pre-selected regardless of what your current position is. So if you were in first, there is a chance that you'll get passed up and still be hit by it because it's already locked on.
I was in third place and Blue Shell put me to sixth. That's complete cheating bullshit. Yeah, and again, this is what I'm telling you about 150cc. The game will cheat on the hardest difficulty. I was doing fine. I was going to come back. You hit me with a blue shell when I'm in third. Complete bullshit. Wow, that pisses me off. I'm actually legit pissed.
Actually legit pissed at fucking Mario Kart. And he doesn't...
I jumped and it didn't jump. Great.
He doesn't get in a better mood at any point. If any of you were waiting for the gameplay section where he's going to be excited and full of joy and having fun, it's pretty much not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I did it. Yeah, this is nonsense. This is fucking bullshit. The game cheated a million times. I was hitting the boxes. It wasn't giving me an item, pretending like the guy in front of me got it. No, he didn't. I hit the box. It was blatantly abusing the system over and over. What a piece of shit. Wow.
Like I know this is a supercut of his lowlights, of course, but as somebody who was legitimately listening to the gameplay, it was nothing until he was complaining about being cheated, in which case it went back into nothing afterwards.
Cheating over and over. Wow.
That was pretty much the whole gameplay.
Tell me how the Goomba was faster than Donkey Kong, who has the fastest maximum speed. The Goomba was driving better than me, faster than me, right next to me. What are you talking about? Look, it's happening again. I'm supposed to be faster than her.
He's complaining about supposed to be faster than her. He's actively bumping into her the entire time. That has an effect on your speed, you fucking idiot. This is what I'm talking about. It's core gameplay mechanics of Mario Kart that this guy can't even fathom. He can't comprehend Mario Kart mechanics. Come on, man. This is actually baby's first game in some instances. Also, him not understanding acceleration versus top speed. You're right. You're right. That definitely plays a factor as well. There's nothing to add.
This is a weird stage.
Completely locked in for a lap around in Mario Kart.
Can't see. Now Blue Shell's gonna hit me. I couldn't see. I couldn't see the stage.
Dude. I know a lot of you are audio style, but please look at the turn on this fucking switchover. When it changes over to the Daisy gameplay, it's like he's not even trying to turn. What do you, like, it says he can't see. How?
I couldn't see. I couldn't see the stage. What was I supposed to do there?
How? Brother, there's a fucking mini-map on the screen that it pre-tells you what the layout of the stage is going to be. You can see it on the screen the whole time. What do you mean you can't fucking see it?
What just happened? What? I was driving straight. The game clipped me off the edge and made me fall off the track, even though I was driving straight.
The game clipped me off the edge, even though I was driving. We're going to run this one back again. Here we go. We'll watch the jump. All right, come straight off. Okay, we're gonna go completely straight. What is that gonna look like here? Right off of the edge. It's like he didn't actually take into consideration that the platform is gonna continue left or something.
What just happened? What? I was driving straight. The game clipped me off the edge and made me fall off the track, even though I was driving straight. It clipped me. Gee, thanks.
Just... coping in Mario Kart is never something I thought that was really going to be on the menu.
Did you see that? Are you kidding? Dude, get the
Oh
fuck
my
out
God.
of here. Number
He
one,
got
it
shit
clips me
on.
off the track. I'm driving straight and I use the ghost. All of a sudden, the game says, you clipped off the stage or over here. I'm driving straight. There's nothing else
Mario
I can
Kart
do but
World
drive
is
straight. How can
definitely
you say
the
it's my
Dark Souls
fault?
of Mario
Then I got
Kart.
the fire flower I shot.
It's
I hit
true.
the guy in front of me. He didn't lose any speed. He stayed ahead of me instead of slowing down. Then another person goes by me for no reason.
No reason.
The game
None.
is outright cheating, and I avoided the blue shell. I used skill to avoid the blue shell, and I'm still getting beaten by a cheating-ass game. That's awful.
And somebody just called it out in chat. The master beef, yes, saying no chat interaction. Absolutely not. Zero fun commentary. Absolutely not, dude. We have to be locked in to actually do well at 150cc Mario Kart. I just let that sink in. Think about that all you'd like. It's pathetic.
That is
It's
terrible
embarrassing. Double Dash is the Dark Souls of Mario Kart? I disagree. I think Double Dash is the best one. It's the one I've always had the most fun in, and I've always done the best at. Maybe I'm just goated with the sauce, and I didn't mean for that to be the case. Thank you, Utina Haragi, for the 2. I really appreciate it. Does Mario Kart use rollback netcode? It must. It must have been designed by the canons from the ground up in order for it to be fucking him this hard. 5th place is pretty rough pretty rough position to find yourself in. So it must be the netcode. I appreciate the 2. And Chad J Thundercock with the 13 months saying this is meaningful content, guys. I agree. I don't know what else I could have spent my Thursday doing other than loving this content, of course.
Did you see that? What is going on? Are you, like, what did I do wrong? So literally, I have 3 shells. Bowser drives up with 3 banana peels, takes out 2 shells, then immediately knocks me off the stage? What the fuck do you want me to do? It keeps cheating, it's insane.
Keeps cheating. And I want to point out, as a Mario Kart aficionado, the amount of normal style just turning I'm seeing from the guy is despicable. There's so many opportunities to get extra speed boosts to actually maintain first place that he is not doing. I don't know how he had the courage to launch this game and play it like this. I would be sad. I would be literally like worst performance of my life if that was the case. Scrumbly with the 220 saying nothing that he could do. Game's cheating. Please tip. While those are all true statements, there is nothing he could do. Now, in the form of the blue shell, that is actually pretty much true. Aside from the one item that you can get in the game, the speaker box, the blue shell is inevitable. DSP's not the Drift King. No, sir. Despite playing DK earlier,
We're up
he
to
is
186
not.
of support. Guys, please keep it going for the Switch 2 launch marathon. All right, let's hit. Are we gonna hit 200 so I can have
Hi,
my
Danny.
second shot?
Thanks for stopping by,
Like,
brother.
what's taking so long? How about some subs over on Kick? How about some tips? What's going on? Let's get some support so we can hit our goals today.
What's
right now, we
going
only got
on?
1 goal in. Obviously, the intention here is to hit a bunch of goals so we can do DSP tries it tomorrow. But it looks like at this point, we're not doing very well.
You could avoid the blue shell with the mushroom, like the infinite
right.
mushroom,
I'm
like you
gonna
could
take a
outrace
brief
it.
break,
Are you
reason
saying,
being,
or
I'm going to use the restroom, and I'm going to talk to my wife about dinner, okay? So I need to take a little bit of time away. It's only going to be like less than 5 minutes. But I will be back with more Mario Kart World, continuing on with our Rainbow Road Rush. Right now, we're actually doing well.
obviously mandatory that he go talk to his wife in person about dinner, despite being in the middle of a marathon and having a goal that he's actively pursuing and is under the assumption is going to be a monumental task to overcome. But we got to take a 5 minute to go discuss the shrimp that we're going to eat, or the sushi rather.
First 3 we just beat convincingly. And made
Yeah,
top
just
3,
text her.
even though
Exactly,
it was blatantly
Baron.
cheating.
Exactly.
So, hopefully you're liking it. And
Guy lives
all right,
in the
more
modern
coming. I'll
day.
be back in a few. Danzak did a $2 super check. Can you play as Rosalina? We can. Like, I was thinking just play as every unlockable character back to back. Just use them all, right? There's a lot of trolls here today, guys, because they're trying to ruin the marathon. If you notice, I'm just ignoring them, and I take care of them when I see them. If there's anyone particularly offensive who's bothering you, let me know, okay?
All right,
Okay,
sounds
here we
good,
go.
dude. What a
Everyone,
weird
welcome back to Mario Kart
sort of
World.
disclaimer.
Wow.
I also noticed that the guy insisted on playing a bunch of different characters and using a bunch of different vehicles the entire time. That's not a strategy that I would have recommended, given how awful he actually is at the gameplay. They do actually handle differently. There are different stats, and I don't think that he was ever taking that into consideration when playing the game.
What the hell's this?
Or at least it never seemed to be. And thank you, Red Bird, for the 2, saying it's hard to remember he's 43 sometimes. The crying. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. An actual child in a pathetic grown man's body, for certain.
Oh my god, do you think there's enough shells? I can't control it. What's going on? No, I can't control it. What's going on? Look, I can't move. Look.
Oh, what?
The Wiimote is faulty. Look what happened.
Holy shit. A 20th place finish. Dude. Come on. I know the Wiimote, yeah, as he called it, the Wiimote. He did that like 100 times. The Wiimote stopped functioning, but come on, man. 20th place.
So, the Wiimote completed charge, and when the Wiimote completed charge, the RGBs went on the controller, and the controller stopped responding entirely. So I'm going to start over. It literally stopped responding because it reached full charge. What the hell was that? Yeah.
Yes, and for the record, it is because of the third-party Chinese-style accessory. Now, I wouldn't feel inclined to call it Chinese if DSP didn't. But yes, it's the accessory's fault. The thing he was so excited to show off to everybody and legitimately thought made his Switch 2 unboxing worth this shit. That's the problem with it.
I don't know if it's because I'm using the third-party charger or because the Wiimote just does that when it reaches full charge. But it reached full charge, it vibrated, the colors started going crazy, and the controller stopped working.
Jordan Fadeaway with the 2 saying, fostering a community of snitches, the DSP brand. Of course, you need loyal dents over there. It's a rough life over there on the battlefield that is DSP chat.
So I'm just going to quit and start over.
It's like the trenches of World War I or something.
The controller literally would not respond when I was holding the button. Because I was holding it the whole time to accelerate, it just wouldn't accelerate. I got a $2 tip. This person says, do you think your detractors are evil people because they seem like it? There's so many people who think they're my detractors. In reality, I don't believe that the vast majority of people online who act negatively towards me are my detractors. I think detractors are actually people.
The vast majority of people who act negatively towards DSP are not his detractors, for the record. That is what he has just stated. Yes, are we evil? The Dent world is so simple that making fun of somebody online is a moral like quandary to them. It is the essence of evil, literally a Satan-style archetypical figure, the detractor. So yes, I would agree to being evil, sure.
Who are at this point trying to milk negativity to make money. I don't think that they have anything genuinely to say about me as a person or a creator. They're just trying to perpetuate a dramatic environment that morons will pay their money for. That's all.
Wait, none of us have any sort of legitimate criticisms of his character or his content? Since fucking when? You tune into any restreamer, any detractor, and they are constantly coming for every aspect of his character through and through. There's not an iota of his personality that they don't shit on. So what does that even mean? It's actually just nonsensical cope.
I believe at this point. So you judge if you think that's evil or not.
Declan asking if he can be lawful evil for his alignment. I guess it depends on how you detract. I like to think of myself as a lawful evil in this capacity, where I'm gonna give ALT the true neutral evil, of course.
Reviews, they gotta check if something is
who is the chaotic evil? That's the real question. Who gets the honor?
real, guys. No, fake. It's fake, guys. But someone passed it. How did Birdo pass?
Thank you, Chad J. Thundercock, for the 5 with no message. What a true supporter. Not wasting time with words, just with real, honest support. More of you guys should be like him. Thank you, Chad J. Thundercock.
Ask me exactly. That didn't make any sense at all. Well, if I something I couldn't say, then I could do.
Nothing I could do. we're almost done with the gameplay. Then we can move on to what I like to call the aftermath.
Are you kidding me? What the hell is going on? Wow, gee, thanks a lot, game.
Oh, wow. See, and it's shit like that that convinces me that all of DSP's failings in Mario Kart are self-inflicted. When you see unoptimal use for items such as the incredibly well done speaker box, one of my favorite items from Mario Kart Ultimate or 8000 or whatever the fuck that game was called on the original Switch. The speaker is so useful because once you get into first place, you can use it on blue shells, you can use it on red shells, you can use it on fucking anything to not piss you off. And yet here he is in 7th place using it on this totally random fucking 6th place combatant here, and he barely even hits him. Amazing, truly amazing. Thank you, Utena Hiragi. I did it again. Thank you for the 2 with the exclamation point tip. Another real Atlas fan, of course. Thank you, thank you. I apologize for stumbling on the name every single time.
I got completely screwed. Yeah, I got completely screwed.
Completely screwed.
Wait, finished? That was it? Wow.
Nothing he could do is he drives and fucking glides straight into a banana peel that you could see from a mile away. Come on, dude.
Completely screwed. 100%. So I ended up getting 2nd behind Birdo because the game cheated. Again,
the game cheated.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Dude, 2nd place in overall standing in a Mario Kart game. Pathetic, embarrassing. And Karaz is informing us that he straight up said that there was 0 reason to not immediately use your items. And that's just low IQ gameplay, bro. And when you get the triple bananas, when you get the triple shells, to me, those are defensive items. Those will single-handedly not get you sent to the back of the pack on some fucked shit. But for DSP, he doesn't even think about it like that. He cannot think 15 seconds away from where he currently is. And that's why he uses his fucking items the way he does. He belongs in 6th place, legitimately. And thank you, Beelzebub, for subbing to the channel. Of course, one of those satanic-styled detractors.
All of a sudden,
thank you
I got
for
bounced off of the track. Couldn't control it.
Thank you for building pandemonium while you were detracting. Okay, so that was the end of the Mario Kart gameplay. We're going to be moving on to... it didn't save the stream. It didn't save the business. As you can see, at the end of this, he's only at 260... I say only $267. Truly didn't even make up for the cost of the console. So this isn't going to go over well, as you could imagine, even though he will make more money. And the number is going to go up. You'll see here. Thank you, Smitty, Weber, Man Jensen, for the 2. I really appreciate it. For sure, he blames bugged red light mechanics, SMH. 100%. When he's pulling up to the light and it was green and then it goes to red, it was the shitty fucking red light netcode. Of course. And they're detractors preying on his downfall that don't want him to make it to the store. Thank you, Smitty Weberman Jensen, for the 2. And Space Cowboy Media with the 5, saying, and Dave wonders why he had no support for his marathon. Bro can't just shut up in game. Well, he does just shut up in game, and I think that's the other half of why the gameplay is as ass as it is because he can't just shut up and play. He has to complain the whole time, or he does nothing but shut up and provide no commentary and not even look entertained on the screen. He looks like a grumpy old fucking curmudgeon. Legitimately, I said this last week, and it remains true for Mario Kart. If you want to see that gameplay, if you want to see somebody have that attitude, go ask your grandpa to go play Mario Kart. Bring him the Switch 2, document his gameplay, and I promise it looks akin to that, 100%. Thank you for the 5, Space Cowboy Media.
It's like compounded, you know, my allergies on top of that, so. All right, close.
So this is immediately after the stream.
It literally works like the Switch 1 to a T. It's like not any different at all. Okay. Whew. All right. All right, guys. Well, time for the little conclusion. I'm going to do like a mini video conclusion to summarize
time for the wrap up. We have to summarize the marathon we just did.
I guess we're done with support now. No more coming in because I'm done. Like, I'm just going to do my little conclusion. I'm out of here.
$519 by the end of it, as you're seeing right now on screen. And we're asking, well, there's no more support coming in? Huh? It's not paused, I promise. He's just sipping.
Ugh. Okay.
And we're scouring, we're looking, we're eye fucking.
Oh, what a marathon. I'm exhausted. That was very exhausting. It was.
I'm exhausted. Mario Kart, guys. God, what a hard day's work that was. Could you imagine playing Mario Kart for like 5 hours? God, what a hard day's work. Real back-breaking labor there. And not a lot of people could wake up and get that job accomplished.
Playing that all day was just like fucking exhausting as shit. Playing through the campaign and then the multiplayer at the end when I'm tired and my voice is all shot.
My voice is shot. You guys heard how much he was talking during that gameplay, and his voice is shot. He wasn't even talking for half of it. Completely shot voice. What a robust professional. Yeah, Adam, the campaign, you know, getting to Rainbow Road. It's like a story you follow. Keep up, man. It's like you've never played Mario Kart or something. You're acting brand new. Come on. Oh, yeah, and that's a great point, Michael Kitchen. It's saying DSP wasn't even drunk. Not only was he not drunk, but there was a segment, and I'm sad that I don't have it, because it was really funny, where he was going to take his allotted break halfway through the marathon, as all marathons have a nice little break in the middle, where he told the audience that he had to go get coffee, as was his normal routine between streams, because they had not supported enough monetarily in order for him to drink the amount he would need to in order to not need the coffee like he did on his last 2 streams. I'm not making that up. It's really a fucking thing that he said. He was blaming his audience for having to drink coffee because he wasn't drunk enough, which doesn't make any sense to me, because drinking would probably make you more tired and make you need the coffee more. But, you know, whatever beg works for the guy works for me.
All right. All right, time for a little final summary. Okay, everyone, so I just concluded a day-long marathon of Mario Kart World.
A big performative sigh, obviously. For as soon as we hit record, we had to do the sigh.
And the launch of the Switch 2. Of course, everyone wants my thoughts. What do I think about Mario Kart World? Well, as you can hear, you know, my allergies combined with me doing this all day and commentating, my throat is completely shot, so bear with me. I know that I don't sound very good right now. Hoping I'll recover and I'll sound better.
All of you were dying to know how my Mario Kart gameplay went, and as you can hear, my allergies are doing terrible. How are those things fucking related, man? Come on. Nobody gives a shit.
Based off Real says, I think it was good till Rainbow Road, then it seemed laggy. It wasn't. Only the first match I played tonight, when it was matchmaking me into a lobby, the first race actually was laggy. After that, it actually got better. It got much better. So I didn't feel any lag after that. But the thing is, the online play is chaotic, because with 24 players, everyone's always getting the god items. So it's like, oh, someone hit me with
the
star,
god
someone's
items.
bullet bill, someone hit me with electricity, someone is, you know, the giant mode, someone hit me with a fireball, someone hit me with a shell. Now I got to try to catch up because I'm in last. It's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, welcome to playing Mario Kart. If you wanted a fucking sim racer, go play a sim racer. Go play Forza or iRacing or Assetto Corsa or whatever the fuck. Like, that's what Mario Kart is, man. It's a mess. It's supposed to be. It's like playing Smash with items on. It's a disaster.
Wrigley says, old Mario Karts always added something new or unique. This one didn't feel like it did that besides the open world. I'll have to agree with you. I don't think there's a new gameplay mechanic besides driving between the stages. I think that's what it is.
You can grind on the rails and hop off the walls for additional speed boost. I mean, that in and of itself isn't. I know he didn't use it, but I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression of the game. They did actually add something. I'm not that impressed by it, but I'm not gonna lie and say that the open world is it.
You go from one level to the next level and it links them together, so it adds a little bit of extra driving time. But outside of the linking from one to the other, it doesn't feel like there's any new gameplay elements. Like, I didn't find any. I found, you're drifting. You do the hop boost. Someone told me how to do that.
Somebody had to tell him how to do the hop boost. He didn't figure that out on his own.
And everything else is just kind of standard.
And he didn't even mention the grinding or the bouncing off of the walls. He's not mentioning the challenges that are laid out in the open world for you to do to get the unlockables.
They didn't really introduce a new gameplay element to it that
definitely does not justify the $80 price tag. I agree, but let's not sell the game shorter than it already is all I ask.
It feel new. Elliot says it's an overpriced Nintendo POS, but I still enjoyed watching you play. Well, listen, I guess that's what matters. If you liked it, then it did its purpose, correct? It served its purpose if you enjoyed it. I'm happy to hear that you did enjoy it. But for me, I had a good time with it, but I'm wondering, tomorrow I'm playing it again, all right? But after tomorrow, realistically, would anyone want to see it all the time? Probably not. Again, there's no ranking.
Apologies to headphone users. I double-clicked the button.
And you're leveling up, and you're in gold tier, platinum tier, diamond tier. Then, there's something to work toward. There's nothing there. You get points that seem to be completely pointless. Like, what was the point of even getting the points, right?
I might cut that in post. Confused. Write down the timestamp. I'm sorry. Well, we're not paused. We're fucking sorry. Yet.
You could probably plan on it. They're probably going to have DLCs for it, but they're not going to say it on launch day.
Great. Awesome. Perfect. Fantastic. What else do you have, DSP? Really, really low energy, way to cap off the stream here. All right. What the fuck is he reading?
Okay, anything else?
I see. Okay, so I'll read something from his chat since apparently he's not going to. Biggles in his chat was saying, dude, sometimes a game is made just to have fun and enjoy for what it is. It for sure isn't worth $80, but I think it's a good enough game for what it is. I did DSP's job for him.
I'm just curious if anyone else has anything else to say. No, we're good?
That guy said something. That was pretty intelligent. Okay, never mind.
That's my final thoughts. Keep in mind, I'm going to play it tomorrow as well. I tried the battle mode. I'm going to do more of the online, okay? Hopefully, people will show up for it. I don't know. Like, today was the premiere. Makes sense that people would show up for it. I'm actually wondering what's going to happen tomorrow. Another day playing it. Are people already done with it? Like, well, I saw all the stages on your stream, so I guess we'll see, right?
Why would you say this? Why would you put this thought in their head? It's like he wants this game to not do well. It's like he wants something to bitch about and his audience to agree with what I think his true opinion on the game is, which is that it's not that interesting and not really worth the money and worth the time. But it just seems counterproductive to having a good stream where you have entertaining content and make money to say that the games that you're playing aren't entertaining and that people shouldn't want to see them anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Anyone watching this, I'd love your feedback. Leave comments on the videos or on this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of the game overall? Did you enjoy it? Do you think it was disappointing? Overall, or did I miss anything? Did I miss any content or is there anything I should know that maybe I'm missing that I definitely should, do in the game because I'm going to be playing it again. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for a great premiere day of Mario Kart World. See you soon.
Thank you, Hams, for noticing the shades on the skeleton. For all my audio styles, I have a different style layout today. It looks a little different, but they're always functionally pretty much the same. But there's a cowboy-style atlas in the corner. I made that myself, okay, with a little bit of reworking, and I think it came out good. And I do like the glasses. Those were actually my favorite part.
All right. I'm pooped, everyone. So the deal is tomorrow there's no podcast because tomorrow I'm going to start with gameplay relatively right away. We're going to do probably about 2 hours, like from 12 to 2, 2 hours. Excuse me. 2 hours of online play of the game. Probably try battle mode because I didn't try it yet. And then at around 2 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to live react.
There is a bit in here that's actually worth fucking listening to.
First stream.
No, Virgil. I knew Brokeback Atlas was coming. Banned. Virgil, you got to go. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Disgusting. Get out of here. Not having it.
And then the late stream tomorrow night will be.
I almost didn't even use this fucking layout because I knew that was coming, and then it happened. All right, I'll remember that, Virgil. I'll remember.
What do you guys think? Because after today, I'll be honest, I thought there was going to be way more content, and we did everything so fast. You know, I didn't really set it up to do anything else different. So.
For the record, Virgil was timed out for 10 seconds. I hope to see Virgil back, of course. We love Virgil 16 around here.
Now, the thing is, if I do CVS 2, no one's going to know because I didn't say we're
Oh
doing
my God, where is the bit where he sees?
Storage on the Switch.
Come on.
We do that. And that's it for today. I do want to say to those who did support, thank you. It's a shame because, you know, with a new console launch, I got a ton of viewership, which I appreciate. It would have been great to have more support. I'm not going to.
You know what I do have to say, and I didn't mention this, I didn't give DSP his flowers in this regard earlier, because I was too busy shitting on his unboxing, but he did have 600 viewers legitimately during his unboxing, which is far more viewers than I expected him to pull in the first place. So congratulations to DSP for 600 robust and meaningful viewers, obviously.
Lie. Basically, I barely even covered the cost of the console in the game with what I made today. Now, over time, obviously the console is going to be worth it. So it's not like, oh, it's a loss thing for me. It's not. Don't think of it that way. But
why would they? Why does he think that his audience is concerned about chalking the Switch 2 up as a loss on his behalf? That's such an odd thing to think that your audience cares about.
We'll be honest. When you get people coming on the stream and they're saying things like, hey, I want to hijack your whole stream. Here's my friend code. Challenge me in the game, and if you beat me, I'll drop subs. That's fucking disrespectful. It's incredibly disrespectful for two reasons. Number one, because I'm doing a stream to entertain a public audience. This isn't your private stream where you think you can pay to make content specifically for you. That's literally going back to the days of Tutankhamun. Remember him? Who said, oh.
Yo, we're still, dude. How many of you were even around for Tutankhamun to be here? Like legitimately, how many detractors in the chat right now were there for the Tutankhamun arc? And DSP's still upset about it. How many years later, bro? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I want to pay you and you play Street Fighter 5 and shit like that. Remember that? That's incredibly disrespectful to any streamer.
Heaven forbid somebody in his audience offer to put the money up front in order to see a game they want him to play. God forbid. Except that's the exact fucking requirement that so many games now have. Yeah, it's Tutankhamun's fault, you guys. Fuck him. He was disrespectful.
To do that. That's number one. And number two, gee, when you drop hundreds and hundreds of subs over on Kino Casino every night, do you ask them to hijack their stream and completely change their content to give to your needs, or do you just support them? So I'm done with that shit. And if I ever see it again, I'll tell you right now, I'm just dropping the fucking ban hammer the moment I see it.
Dropping a fucking ban hammer.
I don't play that fucking game. I'm no one's bitch. I'm not going to change my marathon around because someone's, dang.
DSP's no one's bitch, but how many times has he fucking said that he's the internet's whipping boy? He's self-described himself as the internet's whipping boy. To me, that sounds like you're the entire internet's bitch, which you are. I mean, that I think is a factual statement, but it's just weird to have the self-admittance so many times recorded and then to say that that's not the case. Very weird.
Dangle the carrot here. Dangle the carrot. You can take the carrot and you can shove it up your fucking ass. How about that?
How about that? So I believe this was It's a Me Ken, which I believe all of you will remember donated like $1,000 fucking dollars on one of the other streams that DSP did, one of the marathon ones. I believe it was the birthday one. That's why that one was so robust and meaningful. And now he's fucking sent to ban world because he interacts with the Kino Casino.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Tag, thanks for a $2 super chat. He says, play Soul Calibur 2. To do that, I have to get the premium subscription. I don't want to do that. And it doesn't have online play either, right?
So then you could spend a fucking play session on an old Soul Calibur game that somebody wanted you to see. If they provide enough money for you to buy the month of fucking super premium or whatever, and then go back the following month, then I don't see why there's really an issue with this. If other people are actually going to be interested in the gameplay, but I'm not going to fucking make his schedule for him.
CPU? That's boring. And I'd also have to play it with this. Good luck playing a fighting game with this.
You could play a fighting game with fucking bananas connected via wires to a PC. That you could play a fighting game with a dance pad. It's actually fun sometimes to play games in weird ways, but sure, man. The dude 2023 with the $2 saying, when did DSP become North Korea's leader? Great question. I think he's always been a dictator in his own right. Of course, he bought the hat for a reason. Like, don't get it twisted. He liked the aura the hat gave him, let's say.
Not even a D-pad. Okay.
It's a Me Ken also donated it to Duty, which irritated DSP. I did forget to mention that. And then Paprika, anyway, said that the issue he has is that the money wasn't just going to be given to him. He had to beat Ken to get the money. You could be upset about that, but to be so visually upset that there was a parameter put on it like this, it seems a little silly to me. That does kind of change the circumstances, but I don't think enough to warrant this behavior.
Yeah,
I appreciate the
simple.
information.
Either you come by, all right? Either you come by and you actually enjoy the content and you support it, or you leave. You don't come by and say, hey, I'm going to demand that you do this. I'll pay you all this money if you do this private session and match. No, fuck you.
See, but DSP never mentions that there was a parameter of winning set. He does mention playing a private session, but he never mentions winning. So that's why I was unaware of that. But it seems like if he doesn't mention it, then it wasn't that big of a factor to him, if you ask me.
That's very transparent and clear for you. I don't need your money for you to try to hijack my content and my streams. That sets a very dangerous precedent. You understand?
Super dangerous precedent.
All right, guys.
Except for, you guys remember when we played Disco Elysium for like three or four fucking weeks because one person came through with a bunch of money? Wasn't that a dangerous precedent to set? Wasn't that going to be an issue? Yeah, and Big Matty D's got a point too, but bounties are fine apparently. Yeah, dictating how DSP has to play a game in order to receive money is fine when it's in the form of bounties, but it's not in any other capacity, of course.
It's time to adjourn. I will see you tomorrow. Remember, no podcast tomorrow. It's just going to be Mario Kart around noon. I'm going to start the stream around like 11:15, 11:30, and then we're going to have half an hour chill. Then we're going to play for like 2 hours. Then I'm going to live react to Summer Game Fest. And tomorrow night, I think we'll try that demo game, whatever it's called. We'll buy it and play it and see what that does, because it kind of showcases the Switch controller and all of that, and see what else we want to do. Okay? And that'll be it for the Switch Crazy Marathon. Then we'll get back to other games and other things starting on Sunday. All right?
So the Switch is dead after Sunday, right? After he shows off, he was going to do the tech demo that he was shitting all over and said was a waste of everybody's money and was a scam. He was going to play that, but due to yesterday, that is no longer going to be the case, and the Switch 2 is going on the back burner till the next game comes out, which I believe is Donkey Kong. So I hope you guys like yes, exactly, Baron, the $500 paperweight that DSP purchased, and I hope you guys are excited to see it whenever the fuck Donkey Kong comes out. Now, if you didn't see the stream yesterday like me, because it was dumb, he started with gameplay and then went into live reacting. You might not know this, so maybe this is breaking news to you, but live reacts are fucking dead, and the schedule has changed. So we'll watch that, and that will be the end of the stream.
Too much going on at this point for me to have 8 games in the rotation. They're just not going to cut it. All right. So we have to talk. And first of all, I have a big announcement. This one's going to stick, and this one is kind of a big thing. All right. So what the hell's this? I minimized, and then it was the same exact thing on top of them. What the hell?
Sorry. Technical errors. Hang on.
Okay. So
ESP channeling his inner ALT, of course.
Moving forward, I will no longer do live reactions to any live event whatsoever. There's no point. Okay? They're just worthless. I wasted 2 hours of my day earlier. In that entire Summer Game Fest, there were 3 things. The new Sonic crossover racer game, the Lies of P DLC we're playing tonight, and Resident Evil 9. That was literally 5 minutes of the 2 hours. So I wasted 2 hours that I could have been doing gameplay. I could have been doing anything else. I could have been just hanging out with you and talking. And that would have been better use of my time than live reacting to that crap.
What the fuck does he think that live reacting actually consists of, if not just hanging out and talking? Like that essentially is what live reacting is. You don't have to focus entirely on the content you're seeing if it does not interest you. You could just talk about games in general while a shitty trailer that you don't care about plays. Maybe your audience doesn't like that. Maybe you should be a little more cordial when it comes to the trailers playing for your audience's sake. But You don't have to. You could do anything you want. It's weird that he chalks it up as a waste of time just because he wasn't making progress in a video game.
Okay. What happens is when I do these live reacts, we all sit here and kind of react, and we talk in the chat, or whatever. But it's
so there was talking going on in the chat, and he was hanging out with his audience. So we just actually live. Very cool.
There's very little direct interaction between me.
Yeah, and you're right. A guy with long hair, he absolutely could have just played games on the side. How many times have you two like Tevin does that all day, pretty much every day. You just play games in the corner, and the guy is on, right? He could have done that with the live react of the showcase, and he didn't because it's too much going on for him. He might actually spaz out.
People watching because I have to watch this thing for 2 straight hours and not miss anything.
Didn't I used to do that?
I literally
yes.
cannot
Yes, I
shout
did.
out
I speed ran Halo Reach and beat it before the guy's night stream was over.
You see? So it ends up being a dud of a stream.
Haters will tell you it was on easy. I will tell you that's because easy is one of the 2 categories, and I wasn't doing it on legendary. I was out of practice. This is a retro cope.
Most people who were there was a good attendance, but most people who were there were complaining, oh, this is boring. Yeah, it was. Summer Games Fest was boring. Absolutely, 100%. But I'm here to watch it and react to it. That's the point of the react stream. It really did waste my time. I had way more fun in the first 2 hours playing Mario Kart than wasting my time on Summer Game Fest. So moving forward, I'm no longer doing it. Here's how I'm going to do it from now on. Okay?
This is a plan moving forward. Obviously, everybody has to be in agreement on this, and this must be a discussion on the pre-stream. It's just a requirement. We have to set the rules in stone, of course.
Simple. Very simple. Something happens at one of these live events. Oh, it's good. We will watch and react to trailers and other announcements on my podcast, period. So what should have happened was I did not watch Summer Game Fest, but instead I would have had a podcast on Sunday morning, and you guys would have told me, hey, Phil, the Sonic trailer was good because it announced some guest characters. Liza P has a DLC. Check that out. Oh, by the way, Resident Evil 9. I said, okay, let's watch that all together right now. And we would have sat here for about 10, 15 minutes having fun, interacting, talking about what I was watching, shouting out contributions, having a good time. Instead of me just sitting here and staring at it and being bored to tears because it's 2 hours of garbage filler. And it was a real big waste of my time. Really. I mean,
okay, there's a lot of us, there's a lot going on here. First of all, he didn't have to stream it that way. He knows that, right? He could pause and give his insight and then build skip juice to skip through the talking to the next trailer. He is aware that you can pause content, right? It's not a new feature on the internet nor in media in general. I thought that he would have been familiar with the pause button by now. But also, he says that, oh, we're not going to do the live reacts anymore. It was a waste of my time. You guys just have to tell me if something is coming out, if there's a new trailer that you want me to see, which requires his audience to understand him to such an extent that they will not waste his time with a trailer that he doesn't deem worth his time, or they get themselves into the bad graces of Phil Burnell, which seems like a position that you don't really want to put yourself in if you're an actual dent. So it's a very strange ask.
I mean, like, I'm actually upset because I feel like that was 2 hours of my life I very much could have been using for something more meaningful. For example, tonight we're doing the Liza P DLC. Well, what happens with the Switch Tech demo, you know, the welcome tour and other content? I don't know. I don't have time for it because I wasted 2 hours. So that should have been the time I could have done it.
It's a fucking tech demo. You could not do this right now, and you could probably just go do that in the same amount of time, and it would be over, and you would still have done all of the content you said that you were going to do.
Instead, I sat around like an idiot watching that garbage, okay?
and CoreTube is right. You can't do that, though, talking about trying to suggest DSP watch trailers, because if you mention a game, he goes, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it, which is absolutely true. If you try to, like, how many times these past couple weeks have there been people in his chat saying, hey, are you going to watch this trailer? Hey, would you be willing to watch this? And he goes, well, I don't have time. I don't know what that is. I thought we already watched that. We don't have, like, I can't get to it today. I have other things on the schedule. So if you were to do this during this Xbox Live or this Xbox game showcase, it could be potentially a week down the road that he finally reacts to it because he doesn't have time. He's too busy fucking crying and begging all day. It's just a shitty way to lay out your stream and a shitty expectation to put on your audience to figure out what you were supposed to watch in your content. One Testicle Man, thank you so much for the 1,000 Huff, which I believe is Hungarian currency. I appreciate it. Live reactions are for life losers like Asmongold or FGC players who sold out and shill games that don't even reach the stream goal for 20 weeks. And that's why they, like you said, are life losers. They're schlubs who, despite having $1 billion, will never even come close to matching the greatness that is DSP. 100%. Of course. Thank you, One Testicle Man.
So I'm not doing it anymore. And so that means that includes Sunday. I'm not live reacting to the Xbox showcase. I'm not live reacting to the Outer Worlds 2 thing. I'm not doing it.
Oh, sorry. It was the summer showcase, not the Xbox one. That one is tomorrow, I guess.
What we'll do is if anything comes up and
I don't want to misinform.
to live react to it, I'll watch it after the fact as a trailer or whatever on demand during my podcast, and that'll be the time that I do that stuff. There is no reason to watch them live. There is zero benefit to seeing it live. Really. It's a waste. It's better as a digestible on demand where we can have fun conversation. I can pause to comment. That's better than the live stream. Okay.
You could do that on the live stream. What the fuck? He legitimately doesn't understand that he could just pause the stream. Like, he's gonna be behind, but that happens. That's why you skip over them talking, or you skip over a trailer that you're not interested in. What the fuck?
Okay. So
yeah, also digestible, of course. You know how you make content digestible in a long form? You just be entertaining. But that's not in his wheelhouse.
I'm not doing it. That's done. 100% set in stone. Not wasting my time with that ever again. Don't ask for it. Don't bother me about it. I mean it. I'm not doing it. Okay?
Don't even bother
I'll
asking.
on a daily rap.
Fucking
I'm
idiots.
Make this known. I'm not doing it anymore. It is a waste of my time. All those people who over the years kept demanding it, didn't know what they were talking about. I've now tried it like 3 years in a row. It's never worked. It's always a waste of time. Done with it. Okay.
Last year, I actually had a really good time live restreaming the guy watching the Xbox showcase. You guys will remember, I think we saw Stalker 2 and we saw Black Ops 6. And there was that game that had the mouse as the main character and it was a fucking woman. You guys remember that? You remember how much we hated that? I remember. And I had a good time. I thought that was entertaining, but apparently DSP disagrees. We actually had a bad time. Miserable even.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Doom was there. How could I forget Doom Guy was there?
Okay. So instead, we're going to be playing games, interacting, having fun, and doing reacts on my podcast. Okay. And if it's something notable, we'll break it out, right? Can break out that react from the podcast into a highlight video or something else that someone can watch just by itself. That's much better in my opinion. Okay.
I agree. Sure. Whatever.
It works very well with my formula and all of that. Okay, it does. Like, it just works better. I get views on the video then and all of that. Sure. This is blocked because my camera.
So now we're concerned about the video on demand views, but that wasn't good enough for fucking Claire Obscure. That's not good enough for Blueprints. But now that's totally fine. We're gonna rely on where that content is worth doing for the views. Okay, sure, man.
Malfunctions. It should be fine tonight. During the daytime, my camera's having weird malfunctions.
Astroga's asking about the mouse game. I don't know. I don't remember what it was called. It was a cute little game where the main character was a mouse and the other characters, NPCs, were animals. And it was a woman mouse, and DSP just flipped his lid instantly about it.
Where right here is capturing as a big black blob, but it seems to only do it during the day.
What up, Tuesday? Glad you like the content. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's right. Announcement number one. Announcement number two is we now have big decisions to make. We do. Like,
huge
what are we
decisions.
going to do with this schedule? I still have 2 lingering games of Blueprints and Claire Obscure that aren't done. But now we have the Lies of P DLC, which is 20 hours long. We've got Mind's Eye coming out on Monday that everyone is interested to see if it's good or not. We got chill streams that people want in the mix, you know?
You like how it's been an entire fucking week of content from the guy and he's still confused as to what he's going to do about a game that he's been thinking about since at least Monday and Tuesday? I would think that after days of pondering what he's going to do in this situation, he would have come up with anything
to do. There's too much going on and too much to juggle. And I know some people are going to be like, well, then just drop everything. Drop Blueprints, drop Claire Obscure. Yeah, those games that we're over 40 hours into. Can we just drop them? I don't know what to do. It's a tough decision. All right? It is.
We're not paused. He's just
I know everyone's
quiet.
gonna have a different opinion too. Seriously, everyone's gonna be like, well, do this one, do this one, do this, because like, there's no consensus when there's so much going on and nothing's a ginormous dominant release. There's going to be people asking for different stuff.
What do you mean there's not dominant releases coming out? You just said everybody is going to want to see what Mind's Eye looks like. Everybody is going to want to see you play the new DLC that is dropping for a game that you loved so much. He loved Lies of P. I personally didn't like to watch him play it, but he really enjoyed the game. You would think that he would be amped to fucking play that instead of Blueprints, a game that he has legitimately already beaten to some capacity, like in the past. We could drop that game right now today, and nobody would be sad other than the guy.
Okay, so with tonight's Lies of P DLC, it's going to take me a while to get back into this. Remember, I haven't played this since the fall of 2023. I played it a lot then and loved it, but
yeah, Hams, we're getting there
then,
right
so
now.
I don't remember the game engine. I had to rebuy the game, which is bullshit. I had to spend another $30 to get the game because they took it off of Game Pass. So that's really dumb that as a launch title, it was on Game Pass.
Right.
Last year, when I set up this PC, it was still on Game Pass. Now I go for the DLC. Oh, we decided to remove it from Game Pass now that the DLC is out.
You guys remember just a few streams, if not the last stream, where he was shilling Game Pass? And one of the issues that I bring up with Game Pass is that it takes me a long time to beat games, and often I come back to them years and years later. And I need them to be there, and I want to actually not have them taken away from me arbitrarily on somebody else's decisions. This is exactly the situation I am trying to avoid by not supporting Game Pass. When I want to play the DLC that finally comes out, I shouldn't have to go out of my way to reacquire a game I am already playing or have played in the past. That's it. That's one of the reasons. But DSP will tell you that there's not a downside to Game Pass. This is the most optimal way to play all of your games, that it's nothing but a bargain through and through. Meanwhile, he had to spend additional money for a game that he's already played using Game Pass.
And I guarantee you, it's exactly as planned. They did it on purpose because using Game Pass.
And yes, they do heavily discount the games that leave Game Pass. You're right, Fort Worth Race. I did see Steam offering a 50% discount on Lies of P today when I launched it. So you're right. But it's still weird that it gets taken away with you.
They got
or taken away from you.
Now people want to play the DLC and they force you to buy the game. I guarantee you this was an
It's not for everybody, and that's the only point I try and make. But DSP thinks that it's literally the hottest shit to hit gaming since the beginning of time. There we go. I'm not coming up with a different example.
Pull it from Game Pass since the DLC's coming out, and then they did. So I had to buy the game and the DLC, so I hope it's good. Seriously, I hope it's good. I hope you guys like it. I hope it ends up being a good streaming content, profitable as well as entertaining. Because I had to drop money on a game that I already played a year and a half ago, which is nonsense. That actually upsets me that I had to spend money on this when I already have played through it, owned, beat it, did everything with it. Pretty annoying.
Pretty annoying. I agree. Somebody said that so Game Pass is the Netflix
and then 30
of
bucks
gaming.
for the DLC, so I spent over $60 plus, with the
Stuart
tax.
Barrett said that. Thank you.
Ridiculous.
It's true. All right, you got anything else? Are we done here?
All right, we have some support already. I'm going to shout it out. We have a couple contributions. Let's get contributions, guys, because earlier today, here's what happened. Mario Kart stream does well. By the time that Mario Kart had ended, we were over $70 of support, and we had momentum. We were doing good. I start the summer Game Pass stream, dead. No support whatsoever. By the end, I think I got like 2 super chats. So we only made like $80 earlier today.
And there's the real reason why live reactions are dead. That is why we are no longer going to be watching any of these conferences or showcases. It's because he did not make enough money. I know all of you are very surprised to hear that money is the motivating factor behind this business decision. But, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That is the case. It's all about the money.
Due to Summer Game Fest. Like 100%.
Wild, I know.
If I didn't do that live react, I would have hit that goal. So that's why I'm done with this stuff. I really am. Like, it just doesn't make sense to do it anymore. Okay? So tonight, over 2 hours of Lies of P, Overture gameplay as I try to reacquaint myself with the game. Please support tonight's stream. Okay? Let's do it. Let's get some initial shout outs here and let's get some support from every direction. We actually started off with a $2 tip that came in after the stream ended. So I think someone
this isn't good. We're done. It better be worth it.
Behind and then tipped after. It's $2. They said Summer Soulsborne Fest, Summer Gotcha Slop Fest. Yeah, it was bad. Summer Game Fest this year was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. It was ridiculously awful. It was so fucking boring. Almost no big announcements at all. Just a lot of filler, slop, samey games.
Filler, slop. these games aren't out yet. He doesn't have all of the information on them. He doesn't know what they play like. He does like, but he's already convinced they're slop. I haven't seen it. I don't actually know what they look like, but he's instantly taken nothing but negativity out of it.
So now every game's either a team shooter that no one's going to play, or it's going to fail.
Also, DSP using the term slop. Guys, I think it's time to stop using it. It's obviously hit unk territory. It's no longer cool. You have to come up with new words. Your vocabulary has been co-opted.
6 months, or every game is anime-ish nonsense, weebish bullshit, or every game is apocalyptic survival horror with body horror mutations. Like, no one's even trying something different. It's just all body horror mutations. There's a virus, a mutation. Everyone's a mutant. Everyone's a monster. There were 3 games presented with creatures with giant heads, malformed limbs, and bodies all mutated together. 3 fucking games, and they all look the same. Gaming has fallen. There is no originality anymore. The real
gaming has fallen. Please shout it from the rooftops. It's officially over. 3 games are coming out, and get this, you guys, they have monsters in them. Truly the death of gaming. You're witnessing it right here, right now, this summer at Summer Game Fest.
It's just, you want to know what was the most original game? The puppet boxing game. 100%. It's Punch Out with puppets. It looks amazing.
Sir, another plane has hit gaming.
Because the graphics look so realistic. That was the best game of the entire thing, because it looks like they tried to do something different instead of just copy everybody else.
All right, sounds good, dude.
Okay. Oh, let's see. I got a $5 tip here.
All right. It better be good.
From Slayer. He says it's a holiday for him. Hari Raya Haji, a day of celebration in Islam. Celebrating the day when the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina. Those who are able to go to Mecca in Saudi Arabia and participate in the events there, it's a must. We did prayers in the morning, and now you're spending time with close family members. Well, have a good day. I know it's your morning there, so have a good.
Wait, I thought he was spending time with his family members. Why is he tipping DSP? I mean, of course. Every time I spend meaningful time with my family during the holidays, I have DSP on in the background, and my PayPal loaded and ready to send him money. Of course, that's what I meant. Real. I think we're gonna end off on the Slayer comment here. I think that's a pretty acceptable spot to stop at. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. You will all be sent to the pre-TBS style show. Of course, and tomorrow we are on for WPIG's 1651 at 8 p.m. for another episode of Ack the King. I'm always so happy to be there, and ALT is always so miserable to be there. It is nothing but a good time if you ask me. Hopefully, you all have a very safe rest of your weekend. Until I see you next time,